Let me turn my TV off.
Who is it? Is it Blutman's or is it T-Bob?
No, I don't do that with my TV. I mute myself when I have TV on.
Well, you just don't stop hollering. You're okay. It's fine. T-Bob took care of his TV, and everybody's good right now. Hi. Welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast, brought to you by Twisted Tea. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Get you some of the peach. Get you some of the raspberry. Get you some of the all their teas are delicious, and nothing goes better with college football than Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. All right, we are live on the YouTube. Everybody is coming in right now. So today we had another day of college football. Big Ev will join us when he joins us. He's got the link. He'll get here. So T-Bob, your brow is furrowed. Blutman, you look like a cartoon character right now with that cartoonish smile on your face. And that idiot in the middle is just ecstatic over happy birthday, Kayce Smith.
No, my birthday's next week.
Happy birthday, Kayce.
You just said it was your birthday.
I said
No, she said next week. She said next week.
I said you have to be nice to me next week because it's my birthday.
Oh, so I don't have to be nice to you tonight. So we don't have to pretend a 45-42 win over Arkansas is worth the shit.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We're 7-0. That's fine. I don't care about any of that. What I'm saying is that next week, we were talking about the Indiana show because we'll be in Bloomington. And then I followed that up with you have to be nice to me because it's my birthday.
Okay. All right. Well, the way you said it implied that it was your birthday today.
It was right after I talked about we were going to Bloomington with Big Noon Kickoff.
All right, gentlemen and lady. This week we had a full slate of college football, a lot of close games in the SEC in particular. But to me, as we sit here and live and breathe, today and last night was about this weekend is defined by who lost, not by who won, but by who lost. Mm-hmm. Walking into the weekend, we had certain teams we believe were up there at the top, and T-Bob, I got to give you credit because I think something you've been saying the whole time is in fact true, that whenever somebody loses and we act like they're trash, we really just need to accept that parity has arrived and teams are going to win and lose. But we come into this weekend, Miami loses to Louisville. Texas Tech loses to Arizona State. On and on and on. We had some issues with who lost. Ole Miss loses to Georgia, which is respectable. But Miami losing to Louisville and Texas Tech losing to Arizona State, to me, T-Bob, is the big headline of this week.
Yeah, it's God, the Louisville game. That thing's crazy. I mean, Brian Brom, is he the inverse James Franklin? Like he has an ability to win these top 5 matchups that I mean, it doesn't just boggle the mind, it kind of boggles math, right? Like by their very nature, everybody should have a losing record against top 5 teams. You should lose the majority of those games. Even the best coaches may win 50% of them. And yet Brian Brom, despite having teams that are never even ranked, he's got 4 top 5 wins with unranked teams. I think he might be like 4-2 or something crazy all time. I mean, there's a million crazy Brom stats coming out. Yeah, and credit to Louisville. I guess the head scratching part about Louisville is they always seem to drop one that they feel like they shouldn't, but they always get one back. And here Brian Brom is, he did it at Purdue and he's doing it at Louisville. And how about this little factoid? Since 2023, the most ACC wins by a head coach, Dabo Swinney at 10-22, Mario Cristobal at 10-22, Jeff Brom at 23 wins. Unbelievable, dude.
Kayce, do you agree with my read on the weekend, or did I miss something?
No, I understand. And T-Bob and I were actually talking about this recently, that he wants to give, more props to the teams who win before he hates on teams. And I understand a lot of us don't subscribe to that. But this weekend really is about teams falling and top 10 teams falling and just an absolute shakeup. And, we'll get to our categories later. But as much as I want to give Louisville credit, like Carson Beck playing the way that he did and having the 4 turnovers that he did and just looking exactly like Georgia fans were used to seeing him. Like that's the Carson Beck that I didn't expect to see this year. I know we're halfway, almost a little bit more through October, but he played like absolute ass. And that's the bigger storyline of that game to me, was like credit to Louisville, credit to them. That's a huge win for them, but it's way more indicative on the fact that Carson Beck showed back up the way a lot of people thought he would. And Miami just missed a golden opportunity in a conference that is pretty much wide open.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing about
actually to build, go ahead.
You got it.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring this up at another time, so I did want to bring it up. One of my favorite parts about today, because Kayce mentioned kind of the craziness of the ACC. Have y'all looked at the current ACC standings as they stand right now?
It's crazy.
Because there may be no greater representation of the inversion of college football than this right here. You have Georgia Tech and Virginia as the lone remaining undefeated ACC teams. They're followed by Duke, SMU, Louisville, Cal, Pitt. Then you get to the losing records. There's Clemson at 2-3. Miami's now 1-1. They're middle of the pack. And at the bottom, you have UNC and Florida State, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, all these teams. So it's wild what is going on in the ACC right now.
And Florida's, it's only, it's not even halftime yet, but Florida State's losing to Stanford right now. Like, it's
all right, you motherfuckers going to let me involve Big Ev at all?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Big Ev, welcome to the show. I'm sorry that they talked the whole time.
I appreciate. I was gonna say I kind of forgotten that. I guess that NC State Virginia game didn't count as a conference game.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. Kind of some of these weird early season ones. Like that's crazy because on into the Louisville thing, like they should have easily won the Virginia game. Like that game, they dominated.
Two pick sixes. Yeah,
and honestly, that was in the story of kind of some of these big upsets. They're usually like running the ball and turnovers, and Louisville was able to run the ball. And they made some big time plays. Like Carson Beck made some bad throws, but they also were some exceptional plays on the ball hawks in the secondary. That's what you have to do to beat a better team on the line of scrimmage. But they were able to run the ball, and they were able to isolate and kind of like maneuver around Ruben Bain and some of the guys up front. So I appreciated that from them for their play calling. But yeah, I mean, that's obviously the biggest story of the week. I mean, a lot of chaos. I think I'm still, my brain's in a pretzel. Auburn, I want to like stab something. Auburn makes me so mad. They are infuriating. They are so good and so bad at the same time. It is like I want to just literally like grab Jackson Arnold and Hugh Freeze by the neck and just fucking shake him.
Jackson Arnold stinks.
They're infuriating. It is insane to watch.
He doesn't stink in the classic stinky way. He waits until 3rd and 4, and you have to have it, and your season's on the line, and he just stands there and says, "Well, I'll sit here until somebody sacks me." And I was like, fourth in the season on the line, he just takes a sack. He's a fucking. They're kids. He's a moron though. They're kids.
No, Brandon. I've decided that kid makes way more money than me. He's making a few $1 million this year.
He stinks.
Jackson Arnold's a fucking loser. He's a loser. People on the internet call me loser all fucking day and make a fraction of millions.
Oh, yeah, Big Ev, you wish you were him?
He makes millions of dollars to suck as a quarterback. I'll say he sucks all day long. I'll say he's a loser all day long. His checks are cashed into this fucking Monday.
He stays on his ass. Like, it is just incredible.
It's like in every time you need one, he takes a sack, but it's not like he did it one. He does it every game. Every game they have like a 4th down, like they need this one, and he takes a sack every time. Every single time. It's unbelievable. You can just set your watch to it.
All right, I started with Miami losing. I started with Texas Tech losing, but there were also some big wins out there. Alabama beating Tennessee to sleep. Georgia coming from behind and beating Ole Miss. UCLA winning their 3rd straight, Liam?
Yeah, we're 3-0.
3-0 since what?
We're 3-0 this season.
He's doing this whole
what?
thing.
The establishment.
So Jerry Neuheisel became head coach.
No. The two. Come on, guys. They're 3-0 since this establishment has been put in place. I understand. It's easy.
I don't understand either.
Big noon next week. No big deal. That's why big time programs.
By the way, what did I do to get moved all the way to the far right? Why am I in the last spot?
You joined 4th. I don't know.
No, that's just not true.
Yeah, it is because we were all on before you were.
Stop. Now you're just bothering.
See,
me.
you joined 4th. He fixed it. Now
right,
you
but I was
5th.
5th.
Now you're in.
Okay. Anyway, all right. So we can dive into. I've got this one tonight kind of loose because I don't feel like there is a game that sits on top of all the other games. I really don't. So what I'm going to do is go dealer's choice to Kayce, to T-Bob, to Blutman, to Big Ev. And I'm going to ask you, what was the biggest game of the day that you would like to use your time to talk about? Kayce Smith.
I think Ole Miss, Georgia. I mean, first of all, the defense that was played in that game was just non-existent. Like when you looked at just like the box score, it was just back and forth. Awesome game, by the way. But Brandon, you said it when you were running through the games. Like there's nothing for Ole Miss to be upset about. They lost the game, but it was a hell of a game. Trinidad Chambliss' first start on the road was incredible. I just like when you look at the SEC and with Ole Miss dropping a game, there is just so many questions of who's going to be in that next level. And I think that what Lane did today and what Kirby did today was they put their best foot forward offensively. I just have no clue what happened with the defense. That was the biggest takeaway to me. It was a blast to watch, but the fact that neither defense wanted to show up was strange. But I think that to me, like you said, there's a lot of different results that came out of it. But that to me was probably the standout of just like from a shakeup standpoint, Ole Miss losing and now moving to that category of having one loss in the SEC is up there.
Yeah, the SEC is not for the faint of heart this year. It's going to be every game is crazy. Anyway, T-Bob, what stands out to you?
Before I get to a game, I gotta hop on. I need to talk LSU Vandy, obviously, but I got to talk about Ole Miss Georgia because this really was a drive chart that should stand the test of time as something that you may never see again. Now, we all knew Ole Miss's defense was bad. Georgia's supposed to be pretty good. They got it going, as we'll see. But until the fourth quarter, there was not a single punt or non-scoring drive this entire game. Ole Miss opened with 5 touchdown drives in a row, except for the 2-play one. They were all double-digit plays in 5 to 6 minutes. UGA opened field goal, touchdown, field goal before half, and then went touchdown, field goal to end the game. But where we really got to zoom in and where it gets amazing to me is, as we said, going into that fourth quarter, no punts. Ole Miss has not been stopped yet. And then the Georgia Bulldogs came alive between the hedges. They enter the fourth quarter down 9. Ole Miss, in the entirety of the fourth, had the ball for 1 minute and 54 seconds. They ran 11 plays. They scored 0 points, back-to-back 3-and-outs. Georgia, they had it for 13 minutes, 34 plays, 17 points. I have never seen a game in which the final 15, which was a back-and-forth affair, has become so incredibly lopsided. And you have to give credit to Gunnar Stockton because Trinidad Chambliss is awesome, and he's composed. He's a gamer. He's poised and crisp. But Gunnar Stockton is that, only more so. 26 of 31, 289, 4 touchdowns, no picks, 10 carries for another 59 and a touchdown on the ground. A really great performance from Georgia in a game where they didn't have it early on.
What,
Can I say something about Gunnar Stockton that might be jarring at first, but if you think about it, you might agree?
Sure.
Yep. Gunnar Stockton is the Baker Mayfield of college football this season. Stew on it.
Okay.
I mean, I think Baker Mayfield is must-watch TV, and I would say he's potentially, if the NFL ended today, he would be the MVP of the league.
No, I see it. No, I see the vision.
Brandon, why are you clapping?
Every time they need
such a good point.
at the end of a game, he makes it. Every time they need a big throw at the end of the game, he makes it.
Okay, Big Av. Let me stop you there. Let me stop you, Big Av. Would Diego Pavia not be the Baker Mayfield of this college football season?
I'm sure he could be, but honestly,
He didn't throw it as well.
They've had more comfortable leads. Like Stockton, like Tennessee game, had to make a big time throw, 4th and 8 to win the game. Like today, had to make big time drives to win the game. Like he's at like Pavia. Like this is like even this game, they were kind of always in front,
coast to coast.
Like they pretty much every game that Vanderbilt's won, they've led for pretty much the whole game.
It's when I watch Georgia every single game this season, when push comes to shove, it's Gunnar Stockton finding a way to get Georgia in the perfect position, no matter what it be. Tonight, it was an incredible hold on a kick. Like it's down to every single detail.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Gunnar Stockton is playing winning football. And I mean, Baker does the same thing, is obviously exponentially better. And I hate player comps and everything, but when I'm watching Georgia, it's Gunnar Stockton's just got that gamer winning like stuff in his DNA, and I respect the heck out of him for it.
And that's fine, and I respect that too. I respect any quarterback when the chips are down, he picks the team up and he carries them across the line. I am flummoxed as to why Georgia's defense is requiring him to do that on a week-in, week-out basis. I am flummoxed as to why they can't figure out Trinidad. Listen, Ole Miss's offense is good, but like not 5 touchdowns in 5 drives against Georgia on the road good. I didn't think that. And like I don't know what the disconnect is between the talent Georgia has on the field and the results they're getting defensively. Kirby Smart's a defensive guy. So I don't get that. But again, in this SEC, you don't have to win beauty contests.
They're starting slow. They're finishing strong, though. Look at I don't know why they're getting jumped on. That's even more confusing. They're getting jumped on early, and they're always settling late. Like you look at the Tennessee game, the Alabama game, now this game, they get their ass kicked out the gates, and then they hold the line. Now, the Alabama game, the offense didn't manage to come through on their portion. But, yeah, it's one of the more odd elements of this Georgia football team.
That's why I said, like, it just doesn't make sense. We knew Ole Miss's defense was going to be bad, but it was, I mean, you just read the drive chart, T-Bob. Like, if you walked out of the room and you came back within seconds, the score was going to be different. Like, it was that type of game where if you even just remotely took your eyes off of it, and I just don't understand, because when we talk about Georgia, like, they haven't yet to put a complete game together, but it's clearly there. So when you look at Georgia moving forward, it's like all they have to do is have their defense just give their offense a little bit of a break and they should be fine. I don't know. That to me was the best game of the day to watch. It was exciting. And I don't think it means Ole Miss is bad at all. I know last year when they would lose games, it was like, okay, Ole Miss is out of the running. I don't think that is the case. This offense is an absolute monster. But it was an exciting game in Athens.
Yeah, I just, the days of overreacting to losses for me are over. I'm not going to overreact to Ole Miss. Like Texas Tech is probably in the same position they were before they lost this game. They finish out. They're going to go to the playoffs. So is Miami. But Big Ev, the one thing that I will bring you in on this is with every passing week, and your Miamis go down, and your Texas Techs go down, and your Georgias and your Alabamas are in wars every other week, and Ohio State. Yeah. And they played a real bad team today. They're real bad. But they're just thumping along. And that gap they've got it feels like they got 34-0 today. Could have been 68-0 if they wanted it to be. Like everybody else is getting pushed, and they're not.
I just think we're kind of in cruise control right now. Because I think even when you watch, like, we just do a lot of very vanilla stuff. Like, I think Day's keeping it very close to the chest. He knows we don't need to go crazy, like, with play calling and this. Just run our big stuff. He knows defense is going to handle it. I think he's fine to bleed the clock. The only thing I would like to see, like, and this is me like nitpicking, I like to see us be just a little more consistent in the run game. They ran the ball some today, but I mean, it's Wisconsin. But I would just like to see them get run the ball a little bit more consistently. But outside of that, it's more. Listen, I won't sit here and just keep saying everyone sucks. Again, everyone doesn't suck. But when I watch Ohio State, I just really think there's a gap. Like, just eyeballs. Like, when I watch them play, I just think there's a gap. Because I think they're just the most complete team. Like, even I'm not going to sit here and say Georgia's awful, but their defense is just not very good. That's just the truth.
What about Indiana?
Teams.
What about, again, I mean, and I'm not trolling at all. Like, I'm truly curious where you would put Indiana. Because, I mean, Indiana, and I know that, they played a really bad team today, but Indiana is also just rolling along.
Indiana's great. Indiana's very good. I still think Oregon's very good. Like, I'm not like, I don't just like throw Oregon in the trash either because they lost Indiana. Indiana's good. Oregon's good. Like, A&M look good. Obviously, they had a lot of points. Like, that's the thing for A&M. Go back to the beginning of the year. Like, that was kind of my concern. Like, they got gashed in the run game. Today, they got gashed a little bit. But no, I mean, I do just think there's a gap. I just think we're the most complete team. Like, I think we're kind of just chilling. And when we need to turn it up a notch, we will.
Kayce, do an ad.
We're going to see because you haven't been in a fist fight yet. You don't know you don't know how that team's going to react to having its nose bloodied. Like, that Texas win is obviously nothing now.
Texas is.
There's the Washington win isn't much to write home about. There's really just like I'm going to be fascinated to see how Ohio State reacts when they're in an actual fight. Because like you don't even have to watch today past the first quarter.
They don't have a fight
Julian
coming to the fucking
was
Big Ten
14 of
championship
15
game.
for 169 and 2 touchdowns. Well, which again, Brandon, but that may be a negative. It may be a negative. Sometimes if you're not battle tested, you don't know what it's going to be like the first time somebody shocks you a little bit.
Yeah. Kayce, reading that.
Rocket Money, Brandon. We love Rocket Money. We know that it'll let us know what's going on with our finances. And if you ever feel like your money is just disappearing every month, it's easier than ever to overspend from subscriptions piling up, the impulse buys after seeing an ad on your phone, Those algorithms will get you ordering takeout a few times a month, but Rocket Money will help you rein it in by showing you exactly where your money is going and helping you make a better decision to keep money in your pocket. It's a personal finance app. It's been with us for a very long time. It helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It's the time of year where it's really easy to just click yes, subscribe, completely forget about it. It piles up. You don't know. Not only can you go see what you're subscribed to, they will also cancel it for you. You just say cancel, they handle it for you. So cancel all those unwanted subscriptions and find your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/rough today. That's rocketmoney.com/rough. rocketmoney.com/rough.
T-Bob, did you know we were getting thunderstorms tonight?
I don't know what exactly is going on. If my timing seems at all off tonight, the stream is like skipping for me like every 5 seconds. So we're just gonna deal.
Oh, okay. So you didn't hear that question?
What? No, I heard the thunderstorm question.
Yeah, I was sitting here and I looked out and there was a flash of light and then I heard thunder. I had no idea we even had thunderstorms in the forecast, and we're covered up with thunderstorms right now.
Oh, it's raining.
Thank you, Blutman.
I didn't know that.
It.
I didn't know that either. I'm giving you exactly what you want there. Wow, I didn't know there was thunderstorm. I didn't know there was rain.
But I was talking to T-Bob, not you.
But he
No,
lives there too.
I thought I lived in the same vicinity as you. My bad.
No, I don't come to you for rain takes. I come to T-Bob for rain takes. We're the old men on the podcast.
Fair. I think weather forecast.
That's a bad idea,
scam
Brandon.
of the job.
I'm weather agnostic. I've
that's
never
not a
carried
thing.
an umbrella. I don't ever. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Agnostic
I know
refers to believing in something. You don't have to believe in weather.
Yeah, I don't believe in weather. I make no decision in my life based on weather. I just walk outside, which apparently I guess has got to change now I live in Chicago.
Weather forecaster, biggest scam of a job on planet Earth.
No, what we do is the biggest scam of a job on earth. Okay.
You see a weather forecaster be right? Ah, shoot. I guess we haven't been right.
Not believing in weather is crazy. Sorry.
I mean, I forecasted Cade Klubnik to rain touchdowns all year. It's been dry as a fucking bone.
They are so bad. So bad.
Sleeper
right.
team.
I hate to use the R word, but I'll use it if you motherfuckers continue to not know what I was talking about.
Well, but they're not. I will say that Blutman having to do all that math for Clemson last night in the group text is very funny now. Like that was a full-blown thesis text message of mathematical equations, and it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
All right. Anyway, Big F. I did not allow you an opportunity to present your biggest thing from the day.
I guess LSU Vandy. I think this is the time to talk about it.
Okay, so you have brought it up, and I don't know whether to start with you, who have been Mr. Diego Pavia all year. And you know what? Since tonight we are celebrating victories and celebrating positive accomplishments, we will start with you because Vanderbilt gets their big ranked win at home. And I have never seen a game with more erroneous stats floating around pregame than this one. Even the Barstool gambling account was tweeting, this is the first time Vanderbilt's been favored over an SEC team since 1977. No, it wasn't. But anyway.
Totally incorrect. It was like 5 years ago.
First time they've been favored at home over a ranked team, I believe, was what they were trying to say. And Vanderbilt, 6-1. Diego Pavia hitting the fucking Heisman pose. Big F, talk about it.
He had an incredible game. I've said it all year. Like they're not that same lowly Vanderbilt team. They have legit NFL talent on their roster, legit NFL talent on offense. And I'm not even really talking about Diego Pavia. That I'm talking about Eli Stowers. I'm talking about Sherrill. I'm talking about Cedric Alexander. They have real guys on offense that are real playmakers. And I'll tell you, the guy that I feel like is not getting thrown around for big jobs is Clark Lee. I don't know who. Somebody should want to hire that guy, I think, personally. Now, he might want to stay. He's a Vanderbilt guy, and I would respect him for that. But I feel like his name should start getting thrown around for those big job opportunities. They played an awesome game. I'm not going to sit here and shit on LSU. I know I've talked about it a lot. I thought they were overrated. I thought it was kind of crazy. They were number 10. I think you saw that's why Vandy was favored. Vegas didn't see it that way either. But, it was a huge win. And I know, Brandon, I think you said it on Wake Up Barstool maybe this week or last week. Diego Pavi's going to have a lot of moments to really throw himself in that Heisman conversation. And this was number one. This was step one. Huge, huge win. They're just not to be poo-pooed. They're not like a cute story in the SEC anymore. They're a legit SEC team.
Yeah.
I'm not even sitting here saying they're going to win the SEC or anything crazy like that. But they're legit. In my opinion, I think they're a legit top 5 team in the SEC. I don't think that's crazy at all. They're really here. They're real contenders. They're not frauds. They have a real chance to make the playoff. Very real chance to make the playoff. They can lose another game and still get in.
Yeah, agreed. I think they're a legit football team. Their schedule again has a lot of opportunity down the back half of this, and but on the other side, LSU played today, and Bob, for the first time since I've known you for a while, but I feel like we're at a different stage of knowing each other. For the first time since I've really known you this year, it feels like you have really thrown in the towel on Brian Kelly at LSU.
Yeah. And I'm gonna start glazing Vandy as a bridge to get to the LSU point. Because there's a couple of metrics that I love to judge coaches off of. One is blue chip ratio. And that's the amount of 4 and 5 stars they have in a team, right? And it's not to say that means you're going to be good, but I think it's a pretty good measure of, okay, who has the most raw talent? And is a coach, is he bringing that talent up? Or is he underperforming? It's a very great way to judge him. In this new era, the NIL era, I think we can also kind of use money to do that as well. How much money do you have invested on this roster? How much money do you pay your head coach? How much money are you pouring into the program? And are you justifying that investment, or are you falling short of your investors' hopes? And this game was just an absolute top to bottom rebuke of the Brian Kelly era at LSU in every single way. Vanderbilt does not have near the amount of raw talent that an LSU does. If you look at blue chip ratio, they do not invest near the amount of money. They just, and there was not a single fluky element about this win. I love what Ev says when he talks about dominating from pillar to post. That's what Vanderbilt did today. They outrushed LSU 242-100. They held on to the ball 37 minutes to LSU's 23. There was no rhythm whatsoever for LSU, whereas Vanderbilt was constantly on schedule, always in third and manageable. The fact that this was a 7-point win was in no way indicative of how this game actually went. It was just a couple feast or famine plays from LSU that made this game closer than what it should have been. And so what that means is you just had Clark Lee, what he's done at Vanderbilt, nothing short of remarkable, and this Commodore team thoroughly dominate an LSU program that has a $100 million coach, a $2.5 million defensive coordinator, put $20+ million into this roster. And what other conclusion could you draw than the Brian Kelly culture at LSU is an abject disaster? And that's where my head is finally at. It's where it's been trending. I finally arrived there. And it goes back to one word, and that word is soft. This LSU team is soft from top to bottom. They're overpaid, they underdeliver, and they just go home to their bank accounts and don't give a fuck anymore. The way that they got pushed around is absolutely inexcusable. There's no toughness left in the program whatsoever. One of my favorite fantasy sayings is, you've forgotten the face of your father, right? That what made you great originally. And this LSU team could not be further from the teams that laid the groundwork to how we think about the LSU Tigers. And it's a sad sight to see, because economically, I still don't think LSU has a way out. But spiritually, the Brian Kelly era is over. There will be coordinator sacrifices. There will be moves that will be made, but there will be no hope. The fans will never believe again. It is over. And it all, I mean, I go back to Tommy Moffitt, but we could talk more about him with Texas A&M. But there's no toughness. There's no badasses. It's just a bunch of overpaid fucking pussies. And it starts at the top.
Yeah, the one thing I do disagree with you about is I just don't know that LSU is going to sit back in a world where Penn State's paying a $50 million buyout to rescue themselves from James Franklin, and they're going to sink further into the depths of Brian Kelly. I believe LSU is the most important thing in Louisiana is LSU's football program, and I don't think they're going to let another year go by. I do think if he goes 10-2, which he's not going to. But if he goes 10-2, that's a different conversation. But I truly believe he's headed towards 8-4 at best. And I think he should, in fact, be fired because he never should have been hired. He isn't the right guy. He isn't the right temperament. He isn't the right anything for LSU's program. And what you said is dead spot on correct. You can give me the worst LSU team of the last 30 years, whenever it is. I don't care what year. I guarantee you there's going to be a dick swinging motherfucker out there that puts the fear of God into the other opponent. There's going to be somebody on that LSU team who just absolutely is a fucking badass, a savage, a beast that just scares the shit out of you. Where's that guy now? Where's the guy that makes me scared as a fan or other teams scared as a player? Doesn't exist. And Nussmeier, God bless him, put Van Buren in. He's throwing up bubble balls.
Well. I will say this for Nuss.
He's a warrior, but he ain't got it right now.
I will say this for Nuss. I think he's in a I think he's in a pretty bad spot in that this O-line is really bad and Joe Sloan fucking sucks. The OC could not be more overmatched. There was a goal line sequence came during the attack of the goal line. They run a first down play and Nuss is immediately like doing this to the sideline. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Joe Sloan takes about 20 seconds, finally calls a play that requires a personnel change, only then for LSU to have to call timeout and then come out of timeout, get a procedure penalty, and then end up settling for a field goal. Did they punt it later? So, like, I'm not saying that Nuss is as good as he thought he was, but I do think it's real easy just to blame him, whereas he is in a spot where there's just not a lot helping him around him.
No, I think you misread what I said, or if you're even talking about me, but I'm certainly not blaming Nuss. But I do think I watched Nuss, and he's fighting his ass off, and he's fighting against a bad offensive line. But there was a couple of out patterns where it just floated the ball. I'm like, give Van Buren a try, give this kid a break or something. Like, you're putting the whole world on this guy's shoulders. I still think he's 80% healthy at best. I don't know. I just look at Nuss.
He can't run the ball, dude.
But after a while, I mean, I know we didn't know for sure if he's injured, how injured he is. Like, at this point, it's like, unless Van Buren is just god fucking awful, why not at least try something new? Because this offense is just not good. Regardless of if it's the offensive coordinator, the offensive line, the quarterback. Like,
no, them and UNC are the only teams in the country to not score more than 25 against an FBS opponent.
Well, even the offensive line and the quarterback don't answer the question of why Vanderbilt just running it down their fucking throat today.
Well, like, I mean, you were talking about they don't got the guys with the attitude, the heart, the hustle, et cetera, et cetera. Well, what Weeks didn't play today. The only other guy in the defense who has that is his little bro, West Weeks. I want you, next game LSU plays, watch Harold Perkins every single snap before, during, and after the play. It's one of the most pathetic and repulsive things you will see in the sport. He is what a waste of talent.
Wow, strong words.
Strong and true.
I thought you were going to call him a wimp.
He is a wimp. He's a dweeb. He's a bozo. Again, a waste of talent.
L7
a lot of athletic ability that could have been used for someone with a 40% more heart. Like, he's a joke.
I also I can't pretend to know the finances of any school at all. I just find it really hard to believe LSU couldn't come up with this buyout. I feel like everybody can come up with buyouts at this point.
Well,
yeah, but they got fundraise a lot. Well, they're in a different situation. Like, it's just like poor down there, unfortunately.
Guys, you want to go read about the fucking Louisiana economy? Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
It's not just about that. It's having donors. I'm not trying to argue. I don't know, but I
that is the economy. That's from what you're pulling from.
The Louisiana economy has never been strong. I mean, they've always they're going to find the money. They got to kill somebody. They'll find the.
There's never been a $50 million buyout. $50 million.
I understand the economy. Era. I understand the economy comes from that, but you still have a lot of money coming into the LSU football program. Look at their facilities. Look at their NIL. Like, there's money coming in.
All right, we're gonna see.
Yep.
I don't know. What do you want to be? Do you want to be proven right about the buyout, or do you want your coach gone, T-Bob?
I don't whatever.
No, I think it is an absurd fucking expenditure of resources to pay somebody $50 million not to work. I think that's a sign of a broken society, top to bottom.
That is the society
it's the
that we live
dumbest
in.
fucking thing I've ever heard. I
It's
think
crazy.
I'm just gonna ride out right. I don't give a shit. That's what I'm saying. But I don't have to champion it. I would never advocate paying somebody $50 million not to work. I'm gonna say you fucking figure it out. We're gonna fire everybody underneath you. You get your ass back in there. You stop fucking golfing all summer and you get it fucking figured out. I'm not paying somebody $50 million to go sit with a thumb up their ass when that money's fucking precious and could fund multiple fucking rosters. Goddamn broken ass world we're living in.
Liam, if you had to bring something as a subject for what the number one thing today, what would you bring to the table?
It's got to be holy war. It's got to be. This is not an overreaction to a loss. This is just the fact of the matter because we've seen it happen twice against, good teams. Utah has shriveled so much more than what a bad read by me on Utah. Sure. I think it might be time to start talking about Kyle Willingham just retiring and getting out of there because the fact that he has not been able to extract anything out of this team and the talent that they possess and how great their offensive line is, how great their defense is. Yeah, they've got a good scheme and Devin Dampier, garbanzo beans. Holy smokes. And I don't know. I look
good
at
or bad?
What
Is that good or bad?
I like
terrible.
garbanzo beans.
He's been
garbage.
horrific.
Garbanzo.
He can't throw downfield. He can't read the field. And when the scheme isn't winning out every down, they hit a wall and struggle significantly. Their offensive line's not getting any push. And I looked at their defense against Texas Tech, and all I saw was green grass. And then, well, what do you know against BYU, a ball club that wants to run the ball right down your face, right down your throat, rather. Utah's defense is slow and they don't handle physicality well. And this is just not what Utah is. This is not what that rivalry is about. So I'm greatly disappointed in Utah, impressed by BYU, yes, but I was warned, hey, Blutman, why are you buying in on Utah? Every year people give them hype and they falter. And I tell them, hey, I ain't never bought in on Utah. This team, I think, is different. No, they're the same as the rest. And again, Kyle Willingham's a great coach, a great man, has had a great, successful career. Has the game passed them up? In my opinion, I think it has. Because the fact, again, being unable to win with this team and get to the Big 12 championship is a major flaw, in my honest opinion.
Real quick, over there in the chat, you whiny
Bear
little
Bachmeier's
fucking
fun.
bitches.
Bear Bachmeier rocks. Acapella club member.
If I'll just talk later.
Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead. It's okay.
I just want to tell the chat, if you're a Notre Dame fan, we're getting there.
Oh,
if you're an Alabama fan, we're getting there. This isn't Burger King. Can't have it your way as soon as you walk in. Let's just relax. We're going to get to Notre Dame and their big win. We're going to get to Alabama and their big win. We're going to get there, you whiny fucking bitches. Okay.
Burger King at the Arkansas game, student section.
Was it?
They were all wearing Burger King crowns.
All right.
No
did we have another shirtless fan section today?
We did.
Everywhere.
Wisconsin did it.
Wisconsin, UCLA, Ball State, Oklahoma State had bananas running around, 45 of them everywhere you look.
I have something to say about it. It was really funny last week, and at Oklahoma State in the disarray there. And I don't need to see it. Do what you want to do. Guys being dudes, the whole thing. It's lost its luster now. We don't need to see it everywhere.
Yeah, everyone's over farming. They want to do it. Oklahoma State wanted to channel what Indiana did a few years ago, and how that was the sign that it revived their program, gave their program life. So now everyone wants to do it.
Kayce, you got another ad, and then we're going to talk about Alabama's big win over Tennessee.
We are talking about a new ad, Brandon, and I don't know if you guys got them in the mail or not, but I got mine, the Brunt footwear, okay? I got mine a couple days ago. It's getting cold outside. It's going to get snowy and wet. And T-Bob, I know you said that you're not used to this weather. You're going to need your Brunt footwear. You're going to need that warm comfy, waterproof, and choosing work boots to talk about being comfortable and durability. If they feel good, they don't last. If they last, they wreck your feet. Not with Brunt. It's no BS. They're built tough. They're great from day one. You don't have to break them in. Everybody that wears boots know when you have to break boots in, it's the worst, but not with Brunt. They're no doubt most comfortable work boots. They also are very classy, comfortable. The girls, so when I first got the link, I was like, I'm not going to wear guys' work boots. And Lukey was like, well, they have a whole girls section. I was like, this is great. Got to choose the length of how high you want them. Everything about them is great. So whether you need waterproof, safety toes, soft toe, pull on, lace up, they've got options that can handle whatever you need and whatever you're walking into. Brunt was tired of workwear boots breaking out the cutting corners because, again, you don't want to have to break these boots in. So you work too hard to be stuck in uncomfortable boots that don't hold up. So they built something better, boots that are insanely comfortable and built for any job site or anything. For a limited time, our listeners get $10 off at Brunt, BRUNT, when you use code RUFF at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com and use code RUFF and you're good to go. And after you order, they'll ask where you heard about Brunt. Do us a favor, tell Unnecessary Roughness. They also got great hats. I got a camo trucker hat. Ev, I don't know if you got yours in. When I got the hat, I was like, this would look good on Big F. This hat looks like a Big F hat.
So I need Brunt, it. No, I haven't. I need you. Brunt, hit me up.
Yeah. So it's about to get snowy and gross outside. Okay. So Brunt will hook us up.
All right. Alabama 37, Tennessee 20. Alabama, we'll talk about A&M in a little bit, I'm sure, but this SEC spin cycle is kind of catching everybody. It's getting everybody where these games are wars every week. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but Alabama staying above it, A&M staying above it, and Alabama stays above it again. I believe this is their fourth straight victory over a ranked team. They do this one with relative ease relative ease. I mean, it wasn't the easiest thing in the world, but relative ease. T-Bob, we have to visit it every single week, but we're in the we prematurely celebrated Alabama football and the demise of it earlier this season, and Ty Simpson just keeps tap dancing his way through our heads.
Yeah, it looks like there's a big three in the SEC right now, and it's probably Alabama, Georgia, and A&M. This game is interesting to me. I don't have a ton to expound on here. Alabama looked great. They dominated. But as we've kind of talked about, a theme we've been playing with is thinking about these games as individual fights. And I love boxing analogies when it comes to football games. And there can be a haymaker landed that so thoroughly ends a game as to make the rest of it almost irrelevant. And Tennessee, when they are second and goal into the first half, potentially going to score to make it 16-14, and they throw a 99-yard pick six, that is a haymaker. Like, the game was over. The game was over at that moment, 23-7. They later had like a 99-yard touchdown drive. So Alabama looked awesome. I've been giving them flowers all week long. I will continue to do so. I'm removing my hate from them. But, like, credit to them, they just landed one square on the chin that there was just no coming off the mat from.
You said something there. Let me stop there and just take a 2-minute detour into what you just said. And you said you believe a top three has emerged of Alabama, A&M, and Georgia. So I got to stop you. Do you not believe Ole Miss has a claim to that? Do you believe that Vanderbilt has a claim to get up in that group? Do you believe that maybe Missouri has a claim to get up in that group?
I would put them all. In tier 2 of that group, and partially that would be because of the pedigree of maybe Alabama more and Georgia more so than anything. Maybe I should be putting A&M with the other schools that you just mentioned, because the other schools have an obvious weakness. Like, Ole Miss's defense is bad. Mizzou's offense, I feel, can be very unimpressive at times when faced with a good defense. And A&M's defense, kind of the jury's out. But then again, Arkansas has done really good against every defense. So I'm still willing to give A&M the bump into that top tier. But yeah, those other guys are maybe right behind. I think their weaknesses are just a bit too obvious.
And you touched on the point I want to make about Alabama and Georgia. As the SEC has compressed, and I feel like it's more competitive 1 through 16 than it's been in a very long time. These games that Georgia's playing this year, whether it's coming back against Tennessee, coming back against Ole Miss, coming back against Auburn, and then Alabama, the way they're winning games, championship DNA is still coursing through the veins of both of those programs. And it's not coursing through the veins of these other teams that are trying to knock them off. Anyway, Big Ev, did you see anything out of Alabama today that knocks your socks off, or what's your take from there?
It's not that they did anything knock my socks off. I think the thing I was most impressed by was that they didn't play like that great, and they still won pretty comfortably. Now, again, it was really flipped on its head with the pick six at the end of the half. That just completely changed the course of the game. But yeah, I think it really was more that they just won pretty comfortably. They didn't play like a great game. They didn't play like terrible either, but they kind of played like a solid B minus game, just kind of coasted through. Tennessee's defense is just really bad. And honestly, Bama's offense worried me early. They kind of got off to a slow start. That was concerning for a minute, but I mean, they got it going and they were going up and down the field. Simpson looked really sharp again. I think he's just a guy you can trust. And I think that's huge. That's huge. Like when you get deeper into these bigger games, deeper into the season, if they're a team that they're in a good spot to make the SEC title game, playoff going forward, like they have a guy at quarterback that I think you can trust over like almost anybody. Like probably he'd be in that top like few names in my opinion. And I think that's just going to be huge for them down the road.
Put Gunnar ahead of him, but yeah, really.
I mean, I took Alabama going into this week and I said, I can't bet against them until they prove me wrong. They're getting better every single week. And I understand Tennessee's defense going into this game. We knew how bad they were, the lowest total defense in the SEC. The Joey Aguilar pick, the 99, we all know how that goes. I guess like from a bigger standpoint and, not to sit and just, we'll get to all these categories, but like to push back a little bit, it's like, T-Bob, you say A&M's defense, the jury is still out. Going into this week, A&M had one of the best defenses in the country. It was the offense was the question. And I'm not trying to say at all that A&M's defense looked good. They actually looked putrid a lot of times. Taylon Green actually made them look really bad. But going into this week, it was all like, well, the defense has one of the best third down conversion rates in the country, and the offense can't get it done.
In conference,
and then tonight, the offense got it done, and it was a defense. So, and again, I'm not trying to put A&M, so far ahead, but I do feel like one of the things in the SEC right now is that no team outside of Alabama, and Alabama was a little so, no team has put together a full, complete game to really separate themselves. We talked about this with Georgia earlier. Georgia's defense couldn't stop Ole Miss's offense, and Ole Miss's offense is really good. You go back and forth and you look at what's going on. This A&M Arkansas game is always fucking weird. Always. It's always weird. A&M comes away with the win, but to say that the jury's still out on their defense when that was the shining star so far, I don't know. That's just, I'm just saying, like, to separate Alabama and Georgia from A&M just because they won by 3 in Fayetteville is crazy to me.
Well, I think my separating factor was more that the championship pedigree is one of the differentiating factors, kind of the past. And remember, like after 2 weeks where we were like A&M's defense are like bottom of the SEC in scoring defense during the cupcake portion, but then they really turned it on during conference play.
Well, the cupcake portion.
But yeah, I think my separating factor was more so kind of the history of the programs.
Yeah, no, cupcake portion also includes Notre Dame.
Okay, well, let me counterpoint your counterpoint, Kayce. 7-0 is 7-0, and that's really all you can say about A&M right now. That's all that really matters, right? But when talking about their defense and if they're proven or not, they played 2 legit offenses, and one scored 40 and one scored 42 today.
And that's
in
fine.
the SEC, they played Auburn, Mississippi State, and Florida, which are 3 wretched offenses.
No, I'm not trying to say like straight up that like they're just better. I feel like one of the things that we've done, and I did not bury Alabama after week 1. This podcast, there was a whole funeral that they, after they lost to Florida State.
And I do it again.
Awful. Florida State is bad. They're losing to Stanford as we speak right now. So that's just, I feel like there are little caveats here and there, but at the end of the day, you can only win the games that are on your schedule. And that's what A&M has done thus far. We'll see what happens next week. I know that T-Bob and I have a big, LSU hate week, but in the SEC right now as a whole, it is week to week. Alabama does look to be the best team from the way that they're winning these games. But I mean, Georgia had to squeak out against Ole Miss. Arkansas is bad, but these things happen. Texas barely beats Kentucky. Like there's just so many things that are happening.
Texas is bad.
I know Texas is bad, but Texas also, going into the season was the number 1 preseason ranked team. And I know, Liam, how you feel about that. But when you look at Ohio State, like that could potentially be their best win. And I know that, whether it's our audience, whether it's you guys, like everybody's going to pile on, but I just can't get behind anybody completely taking Alabama and Georgia and be like, they're separating from A&M when A&M's doing everything they need to do to win right now.
Well, if we're having the A&M conversation, let me be clear. I think A&M makes Atlanta. I still don't know if I see them winning in Atlanta. I think A&M makes the playoff. When A&M hired Mike Elko, I said that was a really good blue collar move that kind of flied in the face of what they had done previously with the Sumlin contracts and the Jimbo Fisher contracts. He wasn't the hottest name. He didn't have the craziest resume. They were betting on a guy that was going to instill a culture of toughness. He then hired Tommy Moffitt, who I'm absolutely biased towards because he's the best coach that I've ever had in my entire life. But he's also the strength coach that was the X factor behind the LSU golden era. Nick Saban brought him in, but why did you remain good through Nick Saban, through Les Miles, through Ed Ogeron, who was there the entire time? Tommy Moffitt. It was a sad fucking day when Brian Kelly made that man pack his car in the rain and fired him. And everything that Tommy Moffitt brought to LSU left with him, and now he has brought it to LSU. The day, or to A&M, the day when he was hired, I said, I don't know what this means for A&M in terms of wins and losses, but I can guarantee it means you're going to get a tough Texas A&M team. And it appears that's what you have right now, and it's vastly different. Like LSU resembles Jimbo Fisher's A&M more so than does the current Texas A&M. So I'm like an A&M believer. That's all.
No, and I'm not, and I know that on this podcast it's always going to be 1 versus 5. I do just like when you look at Alabama.
It's not.
Yes,
I said 2 weeks ago, Bama and A&M were the teams I trust.
I was in the group text as this was going on, like Arkansas scores, and everyone's like, "Oh, Arkansas."
Well, I just covered the spread.
I didn't say a word.
I'm just a guy who covers the spread.
No, Brandon, you did say on the college football show that you are preying on my downfall. It's okay. You said it out loud. You said it okay. It's all right. Listen, I was literally on the floor watching this game. This was my nightmare unfolding that I had to maybe get on this podcast after that. And Arkansas is not a good team. They have played really close games. But my bigger point, like we don't have to sit here and talk about this. My bigger point is that in the SEC right now, that Alabama has not put together a complete game either. Georgia has not either. They haven't, Brandon. They also
they're playing Kayce. They're playing ranked teams.
What are we supposed to do? Call up fucking Greg Sankey and be like, "Hey, we need to play somebody that's ranked."
But if you're saying Alabama hasn't done a complete game and we have,
I didn't say we had. I said we haven't. I literally went into this segment saying that there's.
What are you? I hate to do this. What are we talking about?
Nothing.
No, it's not nothing. Like Alabama,
I said nobody in the SEC has put together a full game yet, so I can't say that anybody is separated from that. That's what I was saying.
He didn't say they were separated. He had A&M, Alabama, and Georgia separated. Did he not? Don't do this shit. We're talking.
Those are my top 3.
Those were his 3. And
I answered the question, and he said that he would maybe put A&M because he was doubting their defense. The jury is still out. That was the exact quote.
I think
it's more of using history as an indicator of future results. Just because we've seen Georgia climb the mountaintop, we've seen Alabama. Like it's impossible for my brain to separate these past successes, right? Even if it's unfair, because like there's different people at every position and there's different coaches and different everything. But that's the great part about sports is like all we want in life is if I go out there and I do my job, I want to be able to get credit for it and be praised for it. In most facets of life, you don't always get that. Maybe your boss gets credit. Maybe nobody realizes. But in sports, like A&M controls their destiny. Go beat the fuck out of LSU. Go win the games. Go win the SEC. And then nobody can tell you shit.
Beautiful part is you're 7-0. Like you're 7-0. Like
I know.
We don't have to get impressed at all.
All I said is that nobody in the SEC to me has put together a complete game. The defense going into this game for Arkansas was the shining light. Marcel Reed needed to start fast. Marcel Reed had an unbelievable fucking game today. The defense did not. Like that's A&M 7-0. That's all.
Kayce, let me just say this real quick. When I take it from someone, when your team is good, I've been at this company 8 years. No one's ever rooted for me once. When you are good, no one will root for you. Just accept it.
No, that's fine. It's more of just like it's more of like I feel like it's okay.
Personal.
Like, but
no one wants to see
it personally. I don't know what A&M has to do at this point on this podcast for it to just be like A&M is a good football team.
They
Everybody's
gotta
like,
beat
they haven't
someone.
played anybody.
I'll tell
They
you.
haven't done anything. It's like I don't. And then if I do what I'm doing right now, then the chat's like, she's crazy. She must be drinking. It's like they're 7-0. Why can't we just be like, hey, A&M's really fucking good till proven otherwise?
If your question is what does A&M have to do, the answer is beat somebody good in the SEC. That's the answer. Now, will it happen? Maybe. We'll see. But that's what the answer is.
So in general, so Ohio State's really good, and we know that they've separated.
Oh,
Right?
they haven't beat nobody either.
Well, but we're sitting here talking about how they're the best team and they're all this. It's like I don't understand that logic. I don't understand the logic.
They didn't beat Arkansas by
Ohio
3.
State. They barely beat fucking Texas. Texas is ass.
Week one, yeah, but they're not.
This is my point. This is my point, Brandon. And again, I love you.
You can't say that and then do the Bama thing.
What are you doing? I think you're talking yourself into these situations and acting like I'm talking you into it. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
Notre Dame. I don't know.
I think. Look, these are conversations that will solve themselves over time. So let's just put a pin in it, and then we can revisit it.
I don't know if A&M's going to the playoff. Notre Dame is. Notre Dame tonight won the biggest game as far as like who's going to the playoff. Like who's standing in their way of going 10-2 now and going to the playoff? Nobody, right? Nobody, Big F?
No one.
And Jeremiah Love, 238 yards. By the way, if it's any ball knowers, like I gave a list of people who might be in the Heisman conversation after this week. Jeremiah Love and Diego Pavia were the two big names on my list. Jeremiah Love just destroyed USC tonight.
He was unbelievable.
Big F. Yeah.
He was unbelievable. I mean, Janarian Price was unbelievable. I mean, that kick return he had was exceptional. Broke a couple tackles, goes on the field. I mean,
yeah.
USC held their own for a while. I mean, they just – and honestly, CJ Carr one point threw that, like, horrendous pick in the red zone. But USC, I mean, their offense is just super explosive. I mean, Carr's really good. Like, they obviously can run the ball, especially against a team like USC. But no, I mean, this is really the – once they lost the 2 and then they got going, this was really the only game that mattered. They won this game. I don't feel like they really get threatened the rest of the way. Like maybe Pitt, I don't see that. I think they're much better than Pitt. Like I just don't see who else gives them a run. And at 10-2, they're going to be like the eighth spot in the playoff, and they're going to be dangerous as hell.
Yeah, they're going to play a fucking home game.
Yeah, they're a good team. The only thing is their defense is not great. Their defense is definitely not nearly what it was last year, but their offense is probably more explosive. They have a better quarterback. So little evens out.
Yeah.
That CJ Carr interception was one of the worst plays I've seen all season.
Just awful.
It doesn't matter. They won the game, but
it was bad.
It was very bad.
Was it the worst interception today?
It was one.
Was it the worst interception today?
Yeah, fair. No, I think that's fair.
No.
Situationally, game
definitely not
where it happened in the game. The score.
Yeah, just the way that they just completely let it go. I mean, and obviously it's a primetime game and it's close and it's a rivalry game. But I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. But it was pretty fucking bad.
The story of this Notre Dame SC game is on the ground. Notre Dame rushed for 306 yards. USC rushed for 68. Again, Jeremiah Love, I think he set a record for this series, which has gone on for 100 years straight, with the only years missing World War II and COVID, which, by the way, guys, if SC and Notre Dame doesn't figure out a way to keep this rivalry going, then the sport is truly fucking broken. And Liam, I will join you in being completely despondent about it all. But yeah, I mean, situationally here, what was fascinating to me was Lincoln Riley was kind of on the edge. USC had battled back from down 10. They go up 24-21. It was a great moment. And then they immediately give up the kick return. Then they immediately fumble the ball. Then they immediately throw the pick. And it's so crazy how you can have so much going for you and how quickly it can kind of all crumble and fall apart in a matter of a couple of possessions.
Yeah. It's isn't that kind of a microcosm of the USC experience under Lincoln Riley?
Yeah.
Feels like that's who they are.
I thought maybe it'd been different because they battled back against Illinois. Yeah, I guess that's what they did against Illinois too. Yeah, fair.
All right, moving along throughout the country. Kayce, you got another one for me?
I do. Pork rinds. We love pork rinds. I had the spicy dill. I actually got a big shipment the other day. My 2.5-year-old son, he's starting to, he's trying some snacks. I didn't give him the spicy dill, but I did give him the barbecue. I think it's sweet barbecue. He loved it, but we know that pork rinds is bigger than just the snacks this year. They are the premier hub for pork rind lovers everywhere. They're bringing back the Crunch Time Hero of the Week, which, as we've mentioned on the multiple podcasts of the program, highlighting outstanding college football players while raising money for a good cause. Every share of their post is $1 donation to the Archer Foundation, which is a nonprofit dedicated to helping families who are dealing with DIPG and DMG pediatric brain cancer. So the weekly winner with the most shares will receive the crunchiest accolade in all of college football. And again, it's $1 per share at porkrinds.com. And it's spelled D-O-T. So spell it out on Instagram. Your share counts. Visit @porkrinds.com on Instagram. Share the weekly Crunch Time Hero post. Each share, $1 donation to fight pediatric brain cancer with the archer-foundation.org. #be a Crunch Time Hero.
All right, just moving
Share it,
around.
and it's $1, guys. It's that easy to fight fucking pediatric brain cancer.
Diego
Share it.
Pavia.
Sorry.
Diego Pavia,
I
Crunch
just love
Time
this ad
Hero of
campaign.
the Week. The Big Ev, Diego Pavia, Crunch Time Hero of the Week.
All right, so now is time in the show that I like to set aside to shit on Big F. So, Big F, I didn't bring my violin today, but did you want to do your whole the AP voters are big meanies for not ranking Washington and Nebraska? Do you want to do that again?
Well, I mean, I could sit here and mock how Mississippi State's a joke. Auburn's a joke, but the SEC will just keep counting these wins and be like, "Look how good we are.
We're not ranked.
We can
We're
be
not
Mississippi State." No, but the ranked teams beat you, and then they convince themselves they're good. If we want to like verbally spar with that, I'll stand in the pocket all day long. Because I'm just saying, I argued over Nebraska they were behind a team they had beaten head up. There's no
which is crazy.
Hold on, wait, time.
That was the
You
point.
know good and goddamn well that one of the flaws in the AP ranking system is when you lose is so much more important sometimes than what you lose. And like Cincinnati lost in week 1 and then started stacking up wins, and that's why they moved up. You know that.
But at the time, they have the same record.
His point was more than valid.
Nebraska lost.
It is,
Obviously,
but
they go to the back of the line.
I didn't say the explanation is good. We just know what the explanation is.
Still got to cry out about it and hope and pray that change happens one of these days and that we could instill some sense into these mindless idiots. Like, he's right.
That. Now, I don't want to turn this into bashing Ev. I just like that one little line. But can we all just laugh at Nebraska for a second?
Oh, God, they're bad.
Listen,
again, shocker.
Penn State, if any Penn State fans were out there saying, boy, I hope we get this Matt Rhule, I think if I were you, I think you were looking at the wrong coach on Friday night. I'd rather have PJ Fleck than Matt Rhule. Matt Rhule hadn't done shit at Nebraska, and PJ Fleck owns him, and he owns that program, and they just destroyed him last night. This Nebraska pipe dream or whatever it was, out the window. Minnesota stomped them, Big F.
Yeah, I don't know what to think, because I thought, at least we talked about it in the show, I thought Rhule handled it with the Penn State controversy well, in terms of just I really don't appreciate when coaches try to pretend like the elephant's not in the room. He addressed it, he established it, he talked to the team about it. I thought that was good. I don't know if that played a factor or not. They just got beat straight up. I think that's really what it was. They're not very good in the trenches. They got gashed for some big runs. Darius Taylor's very good back, but listen, I know you were just fucking around. I don't think Fleck should be getting the Penn State job, but
no, I don't think
I know you're just fucking around, but I don't think Rhule. I definitely don't think Penn State fans should be over the moon if in a few months it's Matt Rhule is named the head coach of Penn State. I don't think it should be oh my God, this is the guy that's going to take us to the promised land. Now, I think he's a good coach, but I like to see he's, like I said, he's won at Temple, he won at Baylor, didn't work out in the league. He's got to show me something more at Nebraska that he hasn't shown yet.
I will say for Nebraska, though, and I know we talked about this going into the week that I thought that Minnesota would upset them, but Dylan Raiola did make multiple throws last night last night at this point. I can't figure out why he's not as good as we thought he was, but then he has a couple plays here and there, and he plays well that you're just it's there. It's there. It's for sure there. Why hasn't it come together for them? I don't know.
A little big bet every now and then.
right?
Those are glimpses of Big Ben, like here and there.
He has moments where you're just like, holy shit, like he'll throw it with his opposite hand. He'll have a hand on the ground. You're like, okay, this kid is exactly what we thought he was going to be. And then he goes out and plays like just absolutely putrid. I don't know. There's just something off with it. But Nebraska fans, you know, you talk about delusional fans, and we all have been delusional at some point. Like Nebraska fans last night, you know, former coworker Will Compton, like he's still, we're going to win out. We control our destiny. It's just like, at what point do you just say, listen, this ain't it? This ain't it.
I mean, like regarding Raiola, he's a good player. He's a good, solid quarterback. Surrounding him, they have zero playmakers. They have zero people that instill fear into you, and that is a common theme. And when you look back 20, 30 minutes ago, what T-Bob said about LSU when he was ranting, you look at Nebraska, you don't see guys that are super passionate, wanting to put their life on the line and truly care about the program that they're repping, and that's just a fact. Matt Rhule completely checked out once again. Like Raiola is a good player, but when stuff isn't surrounding you to help you out, like you're gonna falter. It's same old Nebraska, rules checked out, whatever.
Exactly.
Brady,
I think the only
is,
interesting part about the Nebraska conversation that I like is more of a larger one for college football, which is when making these hiring decisions, how much do we put into one result, right? Because funnily enough, it feels like this one result kind of made Penn State's decision for them. But if they were really that interested in him to begin with, is this loss like one bad week? Is that good logic to say he's not the guy now?
No.
When you're making decisions, they're going to have a 4-year tail and $100 million. And also funny is now that he lost this game, Nebraska doesn't give him an extension. Where if they gone out to beat the fuck out of Minnesota and he's hot into the Penn State coaching search next week, maybe that all changes. I don't have an answer. I just find that to be fascinating. And always remember, PJ Fleck is always waiting to fuck you up in the Big Ten. You don't know when it will be, but he's always there.
I think I have an answer. This one result does not alter any coaching search anywhere in the world. However, this result to me is emblematic of who Nebraska is in 2025. And in year 3 of Matt Rhule, he hasn't taken them down the road very far at all. They're decent. They're solid. But that ain't in year 3.
But you were interested in on them on Thursday.
I don't think I was. No, I don't think – was I?
No, sorry. I don't mean to speak for you. I'm talking about if they were really interested Thursday. If they were really that interested Thursday.
No. You're right. You're right about that. Nothing Penn State saw last night, no result is going to sway them one way or the other. But to me, if I'm in the Penn State room as a whole, I'm saying, boy, if we're hiring this guy, I would have expected a lot more in year 3 than this. But I also would have said it Thursday. I wouldn't have just waited till last night. So yeah, I got that. I got the point that you're making now. Okay.
It's just a funny thing. It's just a funny thing. And I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I don't know.
Michigan 24, Washington 7. Every game Michigan plays is the most boring slop I've ever seen, but Bryce Underwood is Bryce Underwood's pretty good. That's what I have to say about that.
He is. He's very good. I also, we hyped up Washington a little bit, or in general. Michigan, they're fine. They're fine.
But they're it's like the SEC thing, right? Like Ohio State and Indiana are look really, really good. But in the SEC, everybody's pecking at the same kind of, and the Big Ten, I think, is the same way. Like there's teams that are fine there. Michigan is just like Maryland, it's just like Washington, it's just like I feel like there's just so many teams in that middle that are just right about the same level. And they're fine. You're right.
And USC, I mean, again, like Notre Dame handled them, and like that game was weird. It was an epic game, but there were still multiple moments where USC could have taken control. Like there is, you have the Ohio States, you have the Indianas, and they're right there, and then everybody else is kind of a clusterfuck too, just like you said with the SEC. But Michigan is just bizarre because some people, and I feel like most of the company thinks, okay, Sharon Moore is not the guy. But then if you're in a Michigan algorithm at all on Twitter, they're like, well, it's not Sharon Moore, it's something else. It's like, they've got a great quarterback. It's just a very weird team right now. And I don't know how they separate that one way or the other.
Here's what Michigan is, man.
Oh,
go ahead.
They have what's going to be a great quarterback,
right? But I'm saying, like, they have the talent there. Like, they have the ability.
And they got a receiver. They got a receiver who's starting to. This Marsh kid, right? This Marsh kid's good.
He's filthy. Somehow reminded Joel Klatt of Will Johnson. That was the worst commentary call today.
The cornerback?
Correct.
Yeah, it was the most bizarre commentary I heard all day.
I will say,
love Joel
overall,
Klatt. Crazy.
like, an overarching thing today, and I don't know if maybe I'm alone in this. There was a lot of bad commentary today, just in general, just a lot of weird calls. I don't know. Maybe I'm in my own little bubble, but
I don't know why the Mississippi State game sounded like it was a high school game. The audio production was goddamn awful. That shit was crazy, but whatever.
That was bad.
Yes, Brandon.
I'll step in right there. I know why the Mississippi State game sounded like it was a high school game, because the Mississippi State Florida game was a goddamn high school game. I don't know. I doubt any of you watched it from start to finish. It was the biggest clusterfuck you have ever seen in your fucking life. I can't believe what my eyes saw in Gainesville, Florida today. You had one side that won, chanting to fire their coach because they know he's terrible. You have one side that lost, inventing ways to lose. Give me 2 minutes here, guys. Give me 2 minutes.
You made the field goal. You made the field goal.
Mississippi State at Florida. Mississippi State loses 23-21. I told Big Ev a couple weeks ago I want to get to a bowl, but I don't know where the wins are coming. By the way, the wins coming next week against Texas. But anyway, I don't join my Mississippi State fans in how mad and upset and angry they are. All Mississippi State fans on Twitter right now want to fire Jeff Lebby and want to say this guy's a loser and he's terrible. Bench Blake Shapen. They want to do all that. We are so much better than we were last year. It might not show in the record books, but we are so much better than we were last year. Tonight, Lebby gets to the 29-yard line with about 30 seconds left and decides to throw a pass. 2 of the 3 routes are wide open. Shapen throws it to the covered route. The fattest man you've ever seen in your life picks it off and just falls to the earth. A 6.9 earthquake happens, and Florida ends up winning. Florida fans didn't even want to win the game. But anyway, they end up winning. But my fan base, Mississippi State's fan base, has gone so far off the rails. They want everybody fired. I was fine with the decision to pass it there. They were at the 29-yard line, 46-yard field goal. Let's get about 10 yards closer. How many times have we seen a coach shut it down at the 30? And how many times have we seen a coach shut it down and say, you know what, we're going to kick a 47-yard field goal, and then the guy misses? That's pussy football. So I like that we did it. Blake Shapen just threw it to the wrong fucking guy. He just threw it. I have no idea what this 5th-year fucking senior saw when he dropped back and throws it to the fattest man in the universe. Like, of anybody in the world, Jesus Christ, you throw to that guy? Brandon quit. That's a terrible call. See, these fucking morons are here. Like, how many times have we seen a coach get to the 30-yard line, shut it down, and we call them pussies all the time? And Brandon, I like that my coach tried to win the game.
It cost me a national title 2 years ago.
That's true.
3 years ago. It's 3 years ago. But regardless, no, I have no issue with the call. This is college football. Like, I don't care if you have the best kicker ever. You don't just like settle for like a 47-yarder and figure out this is it. Like they had ample time left. Throw the football. I have no issue with throwing the football. And honestly, he clearly made the bad read. But honestly, the kid made a great play. I don't know how the fuck he caught that thing. He threw it right at him, but it was so quick. Guys, 330 pounds made the catch. I give him. You think I'd tip your cap a little bit. He made a good play, but yeah,
maybe I'm a pussy. Maybe I just and again in retrospect, it's always easy. Thank you. It's always easy to say it in retrospect. I do feel like I would take the points in that situation just because you're going to win the game. No, but and I'm not. This is like a bigger overarching situation. In retrospect, it's easy to say because of what
taking the points assumes the make, though, and I think that's what I'm saying is that you can't assume the make there.
Of course not. It's
not when you're that far out, at least.
I see where fans, no matter if it's Mississippi State fans tonight or just in general, say that because that's easy. It's easy to say that when you lose. You just don't anticipate your quarterback throwing one of the worst interceptions of the day.
If Lebby had handed it off and Devon Booth had gotten 1 yard and we tried a 45-yard field goal and missed it, our fan base would be the exact same mad they are now. Why didn't we fucking throw? Why don't we get 10 more yards? Why don't we make a play? Like, reacting to a call and judging a call simply based on the results is loser dumb shit. And I'm not going to do loser dumb shit. This coach has brought us a long way. The wins haven't come yet, but God damn it, they're coming. And if you don't believe they're coming, get the fuck off right now, you motherfuckers.
Brandon, is this the most, because I saw it on Twitter. Obviously, I follow you and see all that. Is this the most you've fought with Mississippi State fans in a while? Because I just haven't seen it, but I feel like tonight it was like you versus them very hard.
Certain fan bases have certain traits and qualities that they embody. My fan base, my Mississippi State fans, and I'm one of them, are happiest when they're miserable. And they love to see the bad in every situation. And tonight, when you lose, you want to fire everybody. This is a good coach. This is a good coach who's doing good things. And tonight, we were this fucking close to winning our first SEC game in 2 years. We didn't win it, and that sucks. It hurts. But goddamn it, he's a good coach. Stop being idiots. Don't run off this motherfucker.
Hey, Brandon.
Yeah, hey.
Just you and I talking real quick.
Yeah.
Camario.
I know.
Looks like he's gonna be some special kid.
So if you want me to be negative, I could do without Blake Shapen in my life right now. Listen.
Yeah.
We could have thrown that ball somewhere else. That's all I'm saying. And in the post game, he said, "You know what? That's on me, guys." But Camario, we got our next guy, Camario Taylor. Let's just go.
Well,
let's just
start easing him into it and let the development path begin.
Right. Can I give a quick Michigan take? Because I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on this Michigan team. I've watched a lot of them randomly, like doing like film for like WUB and whatnot. They are a team that is going. They are prioritizing a conservative style of football that will beat the majority of teams. They have a quick passing game that absolutely coddles to having a young quarterback in Bryce Underwood. That is getting better. Like they're getting better at executing the quick passing game. They're getting better at evolving it in some ways. They're becoming a smidge more dynamic. What they are hoping is to rely on exactly what you saw today. It's like you ever play ping pong against somebody and they're not beating you with winners. They're just beating you by not making errors. Like that's this Michigan team. And that's why they won't open up Bryce Underwood at all. They're going to bank that you're going to do exactly what Damon Williams did. They entered this game tied 7-7. Crazy stat. This is the first game that Michigan has entered tied at halftime since 2017. It was a battle. And then what happened? Damon Williams threw back-to-back bad picks that Michigan converted into back-to-back touchdowns, and they win the game. So the problem with Michigan is this will make them look good in a lot of cases, but it's going to limit their ceiling significantly. And if you're a team that can come out and have to make the play, like if they have to try to play from behind, they are absolutely dead in the water. But they're kind of a fascinating team in that they're just playing things so close to the vest, and it's going to pay dividends most every week, but it's not going to work if they're trying to win championships. Not this year.
Now, all that was very well said, by the way. I think that's a very good read on Michigan. I still think when the bad Michigan creeps out, it just reminds me that I don't think the coach is a long-term answer, but that's me being a reactionary bitch. There is a 7-0 team. We are an hour and 17 minutes into the show, and we have not mentioned them. Anybody?
Georgia Tech?
BYU. No,
Georgia Tech. We mentioned BYU. We talked about BYU, right. but we have not mentioned Georgia Tech Duke at all. Now, I am instituting a no more Duke hype ban on Blutman. You are no longer allowed to hype Duke up at all.
Sorry,
I mean that's fair. They're the most aggravating, worst, decently good team of our lifetime. Big Ev knows exactly where I'm coming from, knows exactly what I'm thinking. If you want to watch a team that will untimely Plaxico burst themselves, Duke 2025 is your team.
They're the best. They're the worst good team I've ever seen. That's all.
When you text that in the group text, it was like the old age-old argument. Like, are they the worst best team or the best worst team?
No, they're the worst good team. Like, because there's no team like them where they will just move the ball up and down the field on you all day long, but then somehow you'll look up and they just lose. The way they should have been up 21-0 in the first half. And so they just lose the game. Like Georgia Tech poured it on like in the last like 6 to 10 minutes of the game. But Duke, if you watch that game, Duke thoroughly dominated the football game, and they just turned it over, untimely. That turned into scooping scores and just bad snap, or not even bad snaps, bad holding, and just
the holder ran the wrong way.
And just
started running backwards.
He panicked. His brain
how they find ways to lose football games that they should win, that they have the talent to win.
Isn't Georgia Tech the exact opposite?
Yes, correct. Absolutely.
Yes. Georgia Tech is winning games.
Yes,
They're not looking impressive at all. They're winning every game they play.
No.
Well, it goes back to what T-Bob said earlier when you look at the ACC standings. It's crazy when you look at how you break this all down right now that Virginia and Georgia Tech are at the top of this conference on October 19th. Those are the two teams leading the ACC right now.
We're almost fucking Halloween, dude.
Crazy.
Georgia Tech, I thought would be here, but I thought they would look a little better.
That's fair. There. You thought that they would be convincingly at the top.
Yes, because I in many ways, called my shot on them, and I'm sitting here like having the shot very close to have gone in the net, and I don't really believe. But they're going to be favored. But they're going to be favored in every SEC game or ACC game the rest of the way.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something.
And if we want to if we want to give Georgia Tech, if we want to give my this skipping thing's kind of fucking with me, guys. I apologize, my timing's weird all the time. But if we want to be favorable to Georgia Tech, like we talk about all the time, programs have to learn how to win. And the fact that we have Georgia Tech, a team that since Paul Johnson was a little frisky, has mostly been completely irrelevant, a perennial loser that is now consistently finding ways to win in which they don't have their best. And a great team wins in multiple ways, right? Like, what does Bruce Lee say? Be like water, adapt to the container. They had to overcome 3 turnovers in Colorado. Well, today they didn't turn it over. Instead, they took advantage of turnovers. And like, that's what Georgia Tech's been able to do very well all year long, is based on the game flow, just do whatever the fuck they need to emerge with a win. Now again, it doesn't feel like that'll push them to the ultimate heights, but it is a sign of a program that's getting really improving year over year. And that's a huge credit to Brent Key.
Also, regardless of what they look like, I promise you they're going to give Georgia hell.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to come out.
I don't have any problem believing that. Everybody gives Georgia hell right now too.
Yeah,
like Georgia's a hell getting program right now. That game's in Atlanta too, correct?
It is. I believe it is.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna just Kayce, how many ads we got left?
No more.
Okay. I'm going to just pop in and do some ACC scores and some Big Ten scores. And then when you see a game that we haven't talked about and you'd like to just raise your hand and say, let's talk about that team real quick. Louisville last night beats Miami 24-21. We covered Miami's big disappointment, but Blutman's got something go.
Yeah, I didn't get to talk about this game at the top of the hour, at the top of the show, rather. Louisville deserves a lot of credit for some of their players, their important players, Chris Bell, Isaac Brown, stepping up and playing big-time games. This is a Louisville team who, behind the scenes this season, has struggled with egos and NIL, and they haven't looked that great. And then, push comes to shove, biggest game of the season, they lock in and they whack Miami, and it's because players put aside their ego, put on big-time primetime performances, and made money for the future instead of the now. So I want to give a lot of credit to Isaac Brown and Chris Bell for playing their best games of the season on the biggest stage. And Chris Bell, Mississippi kid, Yazoo City or whatever it is, the hamstring injury he suffers, and he's still popping off with that explosiveness for that last touch. And what a surreal player, man.
North Carolina goes to Cal, loses 21-18 after fumbling into the end zone with 3 minutes to go. They were about to take the lead. They invent new ways to entertain us every single week, including Jordan saying Adobe Photoshop 15 times in a 30-second clip. UConn 38.
That was a hard watch. That was
Boston College 23. Yeah. SMU 35, Clemson 24. My Clemson as a sleeper take lasted about 48 hours. So good for them.
True question. And I know they're not going to fire him ever midseason because of what he's done. But like, we're absolutely close to just being like, we gotta part ways. We gotta mutually divorce, right?
I don't know. Like, this is, somebody said it earlier, but the coaching carousel is already going to be not enough oxygen. Like, there's going to be so many people out there trying to hire a coach and not enough good coaches to go around. So I'm not sure Clemson wants to risk that at this point.
It's just baffling. Like, I know we talked about going into the season and whether you had them winning the national title or in the race. It's just like, it's so bad. It's like impossibly bad at Clemson right now.
They let him take next season and see what it is and then reevaluate if things continue to go south. Otherwise, the only way he's out is by taking another job. If Penn State just hands him,
I think that's a more likely scenario. By the way,
that's the only scenario,
right? Like, I'm not necessarily saying that Clemson makes the decision. I'm saying that there's like a mutual divorce situation, and if you're going to look at a job right now, he could go get a lot of them.
SMU is hilariously undefeated in the ACC still as well.
In my mind, I just put Dabo in an Auburn uniform, and it looked hilarious.
Yeah.
Dabo in any of these uniforms would be hilarious. Like, that's what I'm saying. Is that if he's gonna make a move,
stick with the
say,
evangelicals, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's gonna go somewhere. I don't know. This might be the year. He's got plenty of openings, and
he's the most full of shit guy in college football. They're the most full of shit fan base. Dabo and Auburn were made for each other. Virginia 22, Washington State 20. The second straight week Washington State has made somebody really, really exert some effort. Pitt 30, Syracuse 13 in the Big Ten. In the Big 12, we've got TCU 42-36 over Baylor this morning. High scoring game between those two teams who've kind of fallen off the top shelf of contenders over there. Houston 31, Arizona 28. Arizona's spicy. And Blutman, I don't know which game you had your hand up for, so just go.
Washington State, they've been able to do this season.
While.
Yes, what Washington State has been able to do just to compete this season with significantly better teams who have so much more talent and resources while they are dead in the pack too. And you see what Oregon State's doing, who finally has pulled away from 5-2 FCS Lafayette. Jimmy Rogers deserves so much credit. And the sad fact of the matter is, he might be gone after this season, and he might bring his entire Washington State staff with them that he built with a good chunk from South Dakota State. Players love this guy. He's going to be one of the big-time coaches in college football eventually. So Jimmy Rogers, just a guy to keep a name on. I think he gets poached by a good school this cycle.
Houston 31, Arizona 28, UCF 45, the rotting corpse of West Virginia 13, Arizona State 26-22 over previously undefeated Texas Tech. By the way, we haven't really given that the shine it deserves, but I think it's going to come up in categories in a minute. At least it will for me. BYU 24-21.
Wait, we got to talk. Wait, do we need it? We got to talk Texas Tech real quick. We didn't talk about Texas Tech, right?
We talked about them a little bit, but you can go. The floor is yours.
I'm not going to overly ding Texas Tech for that. I know that we made a lot of excuse me, let me do a quick find on Texas Tech here so I get to my notes on the game. All right, so I know that we made a lot of starting quarterback not mattering because Will Hammond looked so good when he came into that Utah game, but we are still talking about Baron Morton being a fifth-year senior and Will Hammond being a freshman. And that showed today for the vast majority of the game. Texas Tech couldn't get anything going offensive. They exploded there at the end a bit. But Sam Leavitt comes back for Arizona State. Kenny Dillingham is still a good coach. They still have Jordan Tyson. And Jordan Tyson won this game. 10 grabs, 105, 1 tud. So this is a weird game where I'm like, big credit to Dillingham and Arizona State. They continue to be a real good program on the rise. But I would not panic. Well, actually, sorry. What is Baron Morton's injury status long-term? Do we know?
I think it's just week by week. I also
okay. That's what I thought, right? Because
it was emergency available today.
Yeah, which
okay.
was weird, which is a weird thing because like they're showing him in street clothes on the
Did we
sideline.
not get to the emergency?
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like he's an emergency availability, but he just never.
Maybe honestly, maybe they meant like if like Hammond gotten hurt or something. But the point is like not having your starting quarterback, going to a freshman, and then having Sam Levin and Jordan Tyson on the side. This is not as bad of a loss for Texas Tech as many are going to make it out to be, and they are just as alive as ever. And unfortunately, guys, hey, listen up, okay? I don't want any of you motherfuckers to talk about this next week, but there is currently a bit of a wake-up Barstool curse. Every head coach that we have had come on has gone on to lose in their subsequent game. Okay, don't fucking say anything.
Really?
Oh,
We've already had one or two coaches say no to coming on because of it, and now this just happened again with Joey McGuire. So we gotta like.
Manning was a couple.
We
weeks
gotta.
ago.
I
Dillingham.
know. We have to schedule. We have to schedule and Kenny Dillingham and Bielema. We're guys. It's 4 in a row now. Okay,
T-Bob.
we got to schedule a cupcake head coach.
T-Bob.
Not a big matchup.
Let's get Sark this week.
Streak.
No,
Please, please, go for it. Go on, King. Get Sark.
No, I heard Kurt Signetti was going to be on this week to hype up the big noon game.
No, dude, we gotta figure this out. Okay,
Yeah.
can we get Skipper on, Liam?
No,
No, he's not gonna win though.
He's booked.
Yeah, fuck.
In the Big
Sig
Ten,
on.
Minnesota.
Got to get Sig on for Liam.
Do it.
Yeah, exactly. Get Sig on.
Minnesota 24, Nebraska 6.
He won't come on. We've asked Sig a bunch.
I know. They don't like the
Shit.
Barstool Indiana.
Gee,
talking
I
last season.
wonder why.
Right, I'm about to say. I feel as though maybe.
Wonder what that makes him.
Oh, he's a wrestling guy. He should want to go head to head with you, B-Walk.
Michigan 24, Washington 7. And this is honest to God. I have watched football for 12 hours. Okay, 13 hours now. I've just seen this score for the very first time. I didn't see this score all. Northwestern apparently beat Purdue 19-0.
Yeah,
Good. God bless them. Good for them.
No way.
Northwestern,
Let's go.
good solid ball club. Solid ball club.
Good loss.
Ohio State 34-0 over whatever is wearing Wisconsin uniforms right now. Indiana 38-13 over Michigan State, and the scary part about that is Indiana I thought was really sluggish and not very good in the first half of the first half. They still won by 25 points. That's who they are now. Oregon 56-10 over Rutgers. UCLA 20, Maryland 17. I'm sure there's some people out there that watched it. Iowa 25, Penn State 24.
What a cover by the Nittany Lions. Their first of the year.
Gross.
First Penn State cover of the season.
That was their first cover.
Yes. I mean, think, Brandon, they were 20-point favorites and losing outright every fucking week.
They
They were
is
3-point dogs, lost by 1. That's a catch.
disastrous at State College right now. Disastrous.
Vanderbilt
Won
31.
the game.
Vanderbilt 31, LSU 24, Oklahoma 26. So they do a good job of getting off the mat. 26-7 over South Carolina.
That was good.
And
That was really good. Shout out John Mateer.
John Mateer didn't even play well at all.
Double hands
2 hands up. Go.
Shane Beamer is like the biggest fraud of a head coach in the entire sport. And I just want to give Brandon Walker and myself the platform to speak to South Carolina fans who harassed you and I for well over 12 months, that South Carolina was different, that they were a national title contender, that this was a top 5 team in the country, that they have the best, most underrated head coach in all the land. Coach Skits and Bits is so bad at coaching football, and I genuinely do feel sorry for you that you as a fan base were deluded into thinking that there was any chance you could win 6 games and make a bowl. What a joke of a program. I hope he goes and crawls to Blacksburg to get away from you. Oh, I wish it for you.
Ditto. Listen,
You should also acknowledge that South Carolina is one of the worst historical programs in college football history.
No.
But
it was
Suck.
but listen, they went 9-3 last year with nary a decent. What was their best win? I can't even remember it.
Well, no, Brandon, the crazy they
Clemson.
should have been 10-2 in the
Clemson,
playoffs.
yeah.
They got fucked in the LSU game. Like they should have beat LSU.
Fair enough,
They
fair
were
enough.
very hot down the stretch. They beat everybody down the
And
stretch.
then they lost to Illinois in the bowl game.
That's
at, like,
right.
full strength.
Yeah, they were hot down the stretch.
All right. Oklahoma 26, South Carolina 7, Georgia 43, Ole Miss 35. Georgia covering, by the way, Big Ev.
Oh,
Fuck
Ugh.
me in the dick. Put a glass tube in my urethra and smash it with a hammer. Jesus.
Texas
I
A&M
thought
Christ.
7.5. That was rough.
A&M 45-42 over Arkansas. Texas 16-13. Overtime winners over the worst team in the SEC.
Arch,
They
listen,
that
I'm
one.
going to bring up something that has something to do with the actual game in a little bit. Arch is just what is happening? Their offense is so bad. He is so bad right now, and I just can't. Like everybody give him the pass. They lose to Ohio State and Columbus. Give him a pass. Then he has a good half of football against Oklahoma. This Texas team is crazy to watch. Like it's just, take out my bias. What is going on with them?
Yeah, they're a bad football team. Arch isn't that good, and they got lucky to crawl and limp and bleed out of Lexington with a win. All-time malpractice from Kentucky in overtime. What a joke!
Can I throw a quick?
I did not have. Yeah, go ahead, Ev. You go first.
What? How much better is this team with Quinn Ewers as the quarterback?
Better, but to your point, I don't think that much better. I agree. I agree with
I just want to put it out there because Sark got a
Better.
lot of shit last year for not pulling the trigger on Arch.
Yeah.
I think he knew what we all didn't know yet, and now we know that Quinn Ewers was the far better option, and that's why he wasn't even considering it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
The only thing I want to point out on this game. Oh, sorry. Go, Kayce.
No, I was saying I can't figure out what it is.
The only thing I want to point out on this game is the box score is one of the funniest things on the planet. 400 total yards for Kentucky, 179 for Texas. 40 minutes time of possession for Kentucky, 20 for Texas. I didn't really watch the game, so how Texas won, I have no idea. But that blew my mind.
Oh,
T-Bob, I'd just like to point out. Okay.
No.
T-Bob, I'd like to point out that your timing issues, the pauses that it's having and making you do, it makes you seem like the rudest motherfucker in the world.
It's
I know.
crazy.
That's why I tried to get out front of it because I don't know. I tried restarting my stream. I tried unplugging stuff. It's just one of those weird like gremlin in the wires situations.
All right. I guess we
Wait,
get to
Brandon,
who won
shut the
week.
fuck up real quick. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Kayce Smith. Who won the week?
You know what, Brandon Walker? I'm going to say Ohio State and Indiana. I'm going to put them together. Okay. I do believe that, when you look at, not to go back into the SEC Big Ten conversation, I don't want to do that. We've done it on every fucking show for weeks at this point. But when you look at what is going on in the SEC and you do look at how close these games are and kind of the topsy-turvy of what's going on, there's only one team in the SEC that hasn't lost yet. Ohio State and Indiana, from a national perspective, do keep separating themselves. Now, we'll see what happens when the schedules start to even out. But the way Ohio State played today, and Ev, you said it, they could have won by 70 points today if they won. Wisconsin's fucking awful. There was a catch by Carnell Tate today that was unbelievable. That you look at that, you look at Indiana, and they started slow. Just the way that they're separating, and because Miami lost, and because Miami, did it in the way that they did with Carson Beck, those two teams won the weekend. Because you look at every week. Once Oregon lost, there's okay. Well, who's going to take that next step? It's Indiana right now. As long as Ohio State and Indiana keep playing the way that they are going to be every single person who talks college football for a living, or even not for a living. It's going to be that separation. They're like, well, it's Ohio State, Indiana, and everybody else because of what's going on in the other conferences. So they won the week.
Big Ev, who won the week?
I think the answer is easy in my opinion. I think it's Notre Dame. No one had a win that largely impacted their playoffs hopes as much as this win today. Barring a just horrible loss to a bad team, they punched the ticket to a playoff spot today. That's the way I see it. So I think they had easily the best win in terms of their playoff hopes.
T-Bob, who won the week? 3.
I'm going to give a shout out to Adam Schefter here because I found this on his Twitter, but Alex Mortensen won the tweet. So rest in peace to ESPN great Chris Mortensen. He would have loved to see this. But I guess Alex Mortensen has been on the UAB staff. Of course, there's a coaching change. Alex Mortensen was named interim head coach at UAB. Today, UAB took on Memphis. Memphis ranked 22nd in the country. Memphis 21.5-point favorites. The game on ESPN2, a channel in which his late father, Chris Mortensen, used to shine. What did Alex Mortensen do with a team that had just fired their head coach as 21-point dogs as the 22nd ranked team in the nation? They went and won 31-24. Shout out Alex Mortensen. And I know Chris is up there in heaven, looking down, smiling, maybe having a beer if he was into that sort of thing. And that's just a really heartfelt, good moment.
Liam Blutman, who won the week?
Yeah, well, the unfortunate reality is T-Bob's really good at his job and just completely stole mine, and I thought I was going to be able to get that since it was a lowly group of 5 game, and nobody, especially T-Bob, cares about the group of 5, but that is a great pick from T-Bob, and just to add on to it, Memphis scored a touchdown with about a minute left that was going to be the game-tying touchdown, except after review, he's down at the 1, and by some miracle, some magic in the air in Birmingham, UAB holds and keeps Memphis out of the end zone. Truly amazing. Now, to give my winner, since we will not double up,
that's cool.
And I only brought one, UMass won. They were winless. Just kidding. They ended up losing after recording an interception with under a minute left in a 21-20 game. They found a way to lose 28-21. Congrats, UMass. Winless for life.
Your winner of the week was UMass, who lost.
Well, the joke is everyone on Twitter thought UMass won because they got a game-sealing interception with under a minute left, and they found a way to lose. Everyone thought they won. We got community notes on roughness today because I tweeted, winless UMass has found a win. Nope.
Brandon, who won the week?
Thank you very much.
T-Bob, this is crazy.
I'll say who won the week. Okay, he's not talking. All right, here's who won the week. It's very similar to Big F's, okay? But my team is Alabama. I think Alabama won the week. They've won several weeks in a row. This is the 4th week in a row they've beaten a ranked opponent. Should some of those teams be ranked? We'll talk about that later. Whatever. But today they beat a 4th straight ranked opponent, and they do it handily. But more importantly than that, more importantly than this week, if you look at Notre Dame, they won, and you look at the back half of their schedule, what's there to stop them from going to the playoff? Well, Alabama didn't go to the playoff last year, but now we know a lot more about these teams on the back half of Alabama's schedule than we knew previously. And I'm going to ask you right now, having beaten Georgia, having beaten Vanderbilt, having beaten Missouri, and now having beaten Tennessee, who on the back half of this schedule, as we look down into the valley, is stopping Alabama from going to the playoff? Is it the road game against South Carolina? No. Is it the home game against LSU right now? No. Is it the home game against Oklahoma?
No.
Maybe. But no, probably not. Is it the home game against Eastern Illinois? Or is it the road game against Auburn?
No.
This team has run a gauntlet over the last 4 weeks. They've won they've won some tough games. They've won some blowout games, but they're winning big games. And now the back half of their schedule that looked nasty to begin with, South Carolina's terrible. LSU is reeling. Oklahoma's fine. And Auburn knows how to lose better than anybody in the country. This team might just go ahead and start looking for hotels in the playoff. That's all I can say about Alabama. Kayce, who lost the week?
Goes to what we talked about earlier to start the show. It's Miami. I Friday night, not completely a standalone game because Nebraska was playing Nebraska, Minnesota, but Carson Beck, and I guess it's probably the microcosm of it, Carson Beck looked fucking awful last night. And as somebody who had Carson Beck in the top 10 of my quarterback list going into this season and have been very high on Miami. Just the way that they played, and it was just like everything that, I mean, T-Bob, I know you've called him Christopher Fraud. Like everything that was going for Miami just absolutely failed last night. It's not to say that they're out of the playoff because we know that the ACC looks crazy. It was just like that was not the game for them to lose. Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, Miami. And now just to watch the way that they lost, it was an absolutely pathetic display of football. Carson Beck afterwards, whether you disagree or agree on exactly how the end of the game went, his last interception, he kind of throws his wide receiver under the bus. It just doesn't necessarily seem like the vibes are very high for the Hurricanes right now. And to be in the front seat, in the driver's seat of the ACC and to lose the way that they did and for him to look as bad as he did, down tremendous.
Big F, who lost the week?
I think I'm going to go with Texas Tech. And I think it's more than just the loss itself. They played a really bad game. They were down 2 scores in the fourth quarter. I actually give them credit for coming back and taking the lead. And then Arizona State goes down, scores a touchdown, seals the game. But what they lost today was more than the game. They lost their wiggle room. Now being in the conference they're in, they have zero room for error. They were in a spot where they could have ran the table in the regular season.
Good point.
Lost in the Big 12 championship game, and I think they still would have been undeniable still for the playoff at that point. Now, if they went out in the regular season, if they lose the conference title game, they are not going to make the playoff. Or if they do, I'd be really, really, really surprised. So I think that more than anything, I think winners and losers, I think really the playoffs is what matter, especially with the 12 team now. And they really, really hurt themselves. They just have no wiggle room now. They got to win every game.
T-Bob, who lost the week?
Army lost the week. Specifically the first Army drive. And I have to shoehorn this in because this is amazing. Army opening up against Tulane, first drive of the game, 18 plays, 12 minutes off the clock, and they miss a field goal. I mean, it's the greatest wasted drive that has ever existed in college football history. They damn near took an entire quarter off the game. Damn 18, almost 20 plays, guys. Do you know how fucking batshit insane an 18-play drive is? And they end up losing 24-17. But I just more wanted to bring up that drive. That's crazy.
Blubman, who lost the week?
18 plays for 48 yards, by the way. Holy moly. So we already kind of covered them in the UAB game. Memphis is a big loser because that was a team who had a clear path to the playoff by winning out. JMU, again, still sticking around. What a game for Alonzo Barnett and JMU in the wacky first half. Like JMU, plenty alive in the playoff chase. My loser, Jed Fish and Washington. If I am a UCLA fan, which I am, if I am a Florida fan, which I'm not, hey, I'm a Jed Fish guy, always have been. I'm starting to look at him and get a little freaked out. And it's not just because, it's one game and they look so bad against Michigan. No, I'm not an idiot. I'm not a one-game sample size Andy. I look at Jed Fish and see, hey, in big games, he's really not putting out a great product. And that's just the fact. Their defense is not good at all. Their offensive line got absolutely decimated by Michigan today on every single snap, which leads to DeMond Williams pressing, making bad, foolish mistakes. They have this big three of DeMond, Coleman, and Boston that should be able to take over games. They're unable to. Fish has been coaching very poorly in big games. Their 2 biggest tests this year. They combined for 13 points. Yes, against good defenses, sure, against the best defense in the country with Ohio State. But Jed Fish is auditioning for jobs. He's talking to other schools as we speak, trying to get himself to a bigger and better spot. If I'm one of those programs and I'm seeing his resume in big games, do I want that right now? No. I need him to keep grinding, learn more before I make this offer. Brandon Walker.
Thank you.
Brandon, who lost the week?
I don't see how it's anybody but Nebraska.
Oh, wait, Brandon, before you go, I want to say something real quick. Sorry, you go ahead. My bad. You go ahead. My bad.
That was perfect. Good job, T-Bob.
That was
I had to get one. I had to get one more in. I apologize. That's the last one. Guys, and for those listeners, none of this has been on purpose. Well, except for the last 2. Sorry, go ahead, Brandon. Who lost the week?
I don't see how it's not anybody but Nebraska. Listen, Texas Tech lost. I think they're still the class of that conference. They're still going to the playoff. Miami lost. I think they're still the class of that conference. They're still going to the playoff. Nebraska was 5-1, and they were kind of clinging to hope. They're just barely beating some teams. But there's just these reality checks in the world of football. Just every now and then there's a reality check. And I was looking, Minnesota didn't just beat Nebraska and prove that they're not anything special in year 3 of Matt Rhule. They beat them for the 6th straight time. 6 straight times. PJ Fleck owns Nebraska. How are you going to get to the playoff? How are you going to get to the next level? How are you going to return to Nebraska glory when Minnesota fucking owns you? Like they have so many rungs of the ladder to climb, and they're acting like at 5-1 they were near the top of the ladder just trying to reach the next one. They're like they haven't even started stepping up the ladder yet. And they're acting like, oh, man, we're 5-1. We're about to do that. No. Minnesota fucking owns Nebraska. 30 years ago, you were the best program in college football. Now, you're Minnesota's bitch. That's who you are. That's who Nebraska is. And until you're not Minnesota's bitch, don't say nothing to the rest of us.
I don't know.
All right.
Fireworks are going off around
True.
here right now.
True.
Kayce, do you have a shit list?
Oh, I have 2, Brandon. Would you like me to go first?
That's
They're
a lot of
very. They're both are very, very passionate. So.
Okay, well, you stop. You're going to go last then because mine's not that passionate. What's his name to my right? Big Ev, do you have a shit list?
Yeah, it's just fucking Auburn, man. They're just so infuriating. We got off a little bit off our chest at the beginning of the show. But I have bet on these motherfuckers every week. And I swear to God, anyone who knows anything about gambling, they've been the right side every fucking time. Every time they've been the right side. And the was against A&M somehow. And honestly, that might have been the game they were the wrong side. But
that's when they got their ass kicked.
This team, their defense is so fucking good. Mm-hmm. They have 2 NFL receivers they're throwing to, and they just have a dipshit head coach and a dipshit quarterback. And they just are so in their own way, it's unbelievable. If the point of football was to have zero pocket awareness, just take endless sacks, just have no idea what's going on, Jackson Arnold would be the GOAT. He'd be the best football player that ever lived if that was the point. Unfortunately, it's not. Unfortunately, the point of the quarterback is to get the ball out of your hands, into playmakers' hands, move the ball down the field, and score points. He's fucking terrible at that. He's awful.
Terrible. You still wish you were him.
Even worse spots. But holy shit. Please needs to be out of there. If I'm an Auburn fan, like I genuinely feel bad for Auburn fans. I couldn't imagine being a genuine fan of that team and watching them like with my blood, sweat, and tears, my soul every week. And that's the offensive product they put out on the field with a championship caliber defense, in my opinion. A very good defense.
I'm going to keep it right here because I'm rolling.
It's maddening. If I had any hair left in my head, I'd pull it all out when I watch it. I just pull my beard and anxiety like this. I just go like this. I just rip my beard out watching them play offense. I'm like Frank the Tank. I'm biting shit. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. On offense.
I am rolling right into mine because mine's at the exact same place. It's about the exact same team, but mine is more specific, and it's about the biggest fucking loser, crybaby bitch in college football, and that is Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze, Auburn gave you a lifeline when they hired your unhireable ass a couple of years ago, and you have repaid them by being the biggest loser I have ever seen. If you were watching that game closely tonight, and I was, because I bet Auburn money line, and it was the right goddamn side.
Damn right.
It was.
There was a drive late in the game where Missouri got 30 yards of penalties on one play. They got a pass interference, and then they got a unnecessary roughness. Auburn gets the ball back. Okay, their first down play, they throw a pass. There's contact. It's close, and pass interference is not called. The fans start booing. They throw it down to the sideline reporter, and I apologize. I don't know who it was. They throw it down sideline reporter. Is like, how's the sideline over there? And she goes, honestly, ever since that pass interference call wasn't called against Missouri, the Auburn sideline is deflated. It was a tie game in the fourth quarter. This is the second straight week that Hugh Freeze gets a bad call or what he thinks is a bad call, and he gets that stupid-ass look on his face like the hookers aren't answering his fucking phone. Gets that stupid-ass look on his face, and he's just like, and his team goes into the hole, his fans go in the hole, and they are beat. They quit. He is the worst person you could have as your head coach right now, and Auburn deserves better than this loser fucking bitch.
He is a cry baby back bitch. Every time you see him, and if he ever works for us or works around us and I have to walk that back, I'm sorry, but he is. When they put a camera on his face, he just looks deflated at all times.
If we ever hire him, that is the day I quit.
Well, I don't necessarily mean Barstool. I just, hey, listen, I've had to walk back some takes of some coaches that we now work with. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Oh, that's the difference between me and you. I'll make it awkward and walk in there, and I've said so much about everybody I can't even keep up with it. All right, Kayce, no, T-Bob, what's your shit list?
You know me, sometimes I'll have a shit list. If it's like something that really made me angry, I don't. So I have another hit list tonight. Tiny little one. Did y'all see the Lane Kiffin joke right before half in the Georgia game? Lane Kiffin calling timeout, and the ref comes over him. He says, no, I was just clapping. That's like, just look, whether you love Lane, hate Lane, whatever, I'm glad that we have Lane. He's kind of the spiritual successor to Steve Spurrier. And like, that's an incredible in-game troll when you're supposed to be locked in to make the joke about the opposing coach and their side. That's awesome. The other one, Liam, this may be a little nuggy from you as well. Liam, do you know who Monty Quinn is? Division III running back Monty Quinn. Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't? Interesting. Maybe you should, because now he's had the single greatest rushing game in college football history. My man Monty Quinn for Curry College against Nichols College, which I believe is maybe Rico Bosco's college. Monty Quinn just ran for 522 yards and 7 touchdowns on 20 carries.
Oh my God.
26.1 yards per carry for Monty Quinn against Rico Bosco's school. 500,
honestly,
half a thousand in one game, 7 tuds.
That's gotcha culture. That's scale behavior right there, what you just did.
Also, just really quick on his hit list. Really quick on the hit list. Miss Terry's quote about Kirby and Lane today was great.
Yes.
Brandon.
Yes.
Brandon, what's wrong? What's wrong?
That was on College Game Day. Miss Terry literally. Oh, sorry.
What, Brandon?
No,
What?
I'm not going to do it. Give me 48 hours. Give me 48 hours, and then I'll give you my opinion on Miss Terry's quotes. But I don't want. It's too late at night. I don't want Nick Saban's kids DMing you like he's so mean. So just give me 48 hours.
All right, listen.
My radar's up on that.
We'll talk about it on Monday's episode. I loved the quote, though. I loved the quote. He can go out and win an 8th national championship, and he's going to leave it to the kids. Okay, go ahead.
Before
like Kirby and Lane. She said you're going to leave it to the kids like Kirby and Lane. That was so good.
T-Bob, I will fucking hit you, okay? Shut the fuck up when I'm talking.
It was good, dude.
Blutman, you're about to go. Can I just say something? As we sit here, live and breathe, Eli Drinkwitz is adding me on Twitter.
Oh.
At BFW, Zion wants to chat. What the fuck's he talking about?
Wait, hold on. What? Well, you got mad at him, right?
I got mad at his punk ass fan. Put your fucking foot down.
What?
All right. Blutman.
Stretching.
Are you ready?
Yeah, mine just got a whole lot more loaded.
Oh.
Okay.
So it's extending to losers. One, James Franklin, the whole College Game Day thing's bizarre. Nice little PR hit piece, dude. Congrats to you. Oregon State 0-7 beat 5-2, now 5-3 Lafayette, and just stormed the field. The lowest point in Pac-12 history. Let's call it like it is. That is the lowest, most embarrassing point in the history of West Coast football. I can't believe I just saw that. Oh yeah, have fun or whatever. No, what a bunch of pathetic losers who just stormed the field after beating Lafayette as 21.5-point favorites. Ooh, you won a game. You beat Lafayette. Save it for a good moment, for a moment that you could actually savor. That is so pathetic. That is anti-football. Now, Brandon Walker. Stop tweeting drink. Talk to me.
I want to see it. I want to see it so bad.
What do you mean talk to you?
I said Brandon Walker. I expected a reply.
About what?
Brandon Walker.
Yes.
Do you remember earlier this week on Mostly Sports when I told you about a KHL ref being banned from the K?
Yes, I do. And he a puck went in the side of the net.
Correct.
Or are you about to talk about what I think you're about to talk about?
I have visual aid for this one. I am sending to the Roughness group chat in case it has not been there. I just need referees to they have to pay for their sins and their crimes, and it's a double doser here that really goes and encompasses college football as a whole and the epidemic in sports as a whole that we are witnessing, where there is so much money being funneled through on these games. So much money is in play, and you have absolute and utter incompetence happening. Dave is tweeting about the Tennessee-Alabama ending, which there were 57 points, the over-under 60.5. Tennessee got the ball to the 1-inch line. There was no review to see if that was a touchdown or not. That is malpractice. That is incompetence. You need to be held accountable for those crimes. You have to review that. It is if you're going to promote gambling, it is so significant that you get everything right. So that is completely botched. And now to the call in the UCLA game, which I am not going to talk about UCLA tonight. Again, we are 3-0. Nico, what a performance from him. Looked like his knee fell off the bone. He was going to need amputation. No, comes back, delivers the game-winning drive. What a kid. What a call from Jerry Neuheisel. This referee should not be allowed to ref college football or any sport ever again. She encompasses the absolute worst of every single refereeing mistake you will ever see. You saw the visual aid. Do you want to tell me that that's a penalty and a legal block in the back? You want to tell me that?
No.
No, none of you do, because you're all right, and you all have better eyes and understanding and better judgment than her.
If you're behind,
she was 40 yards away from the play, throws the flag, almost ruined the game. If UCLA loses that game should have been put under protest. And I put the clip out saying, is this the worst call of all time? Also, you idiot, I'm not being misogynistic. It's not my fault. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. You have to be held for your actions. That is absolute incompetence. There is, again, so much money being put on these games, being funneled. You have to make the right call and you have to be punished. A call that bad, there's no way. And I tweet the call out, and I'm just getting tweet after tweet after tweet. This is the same ref that botched this call this week. Oh, this call this week that did like 4 or 5 missed pass interference calls in the Illinois-Ohio State game over and over and over and over again. Absolute incompetence. You need to be held for your actions.
Are you seeing what's happening with Florida State right now?
Yeah, Tommy Castellanos just.
Okay, Ev and I both reacted at the same time. Go off, King Blutman. Go off.
Well, yeah, it baffles me that we talk. The product is so big, the product is so significant, and you have people that can't tell if contact is made. You shouldn't be out there.
Yeah, no, you're right. And can I just give a little bit to add on to your riff thing?
Mm-hmm.
The easiest thing in the world should be able to look up and say if a ball went over your head or not. That should be if a ball went over the goddamn upright or not. That should be the easiest thing in the fucking world.
Another great point, Brandon. That should be very easy. That is a very simple thing to do. And again, goes back. There are real people's livelihoods who are putting money. They're affected by this. The kids playing the game are affected. The coaches, etc. There are so many lives affected by absolute incompetence. You need to be held for your actions. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, these referees are absolutely abhorrent at your jobs. Punish them. Make them do the press conference thing after games and stand up for the call that they made, the incorrect call. Fine them for something. Suspend them for a game. Consequences need to have actions. And when you are making ridiculous impacts on games and your calls aren't even 0.1% correct, you should not be refereeing highly important games. And a bunch of people are idiots in the chat. You need to be called out because you're all seeing it wrong. You're all morons. There's
right.
a lot of you that are right, but fair is fair. Fair is fair. Fair is fair. A lot of chat is right.
This is rivaling the Dana Beers cheese rant on Friday. This is incredible. It's passionate, sincere.
Kayce, you are
not
ready.
welcome
You
to. Oh my! I'm not.
Jesus fucking Christ.
What a moron.
Bowman, are you
Kayce.
done?
Yeah, I watched my first day of sports today. Great comment,
Stop
Scott Weber.
worrying about the chat.
Don't worry. First of all, okay. So
It's all you. You're batting cleanup. You're walking us off.
Okay, well, Blutman mentioned it. My first one, which is a smaller one, and I realized, and first of all, I don't read Twitter comments, so I don't care. When I tweeted this, I saw the amount of responses. What James Franklin did on College Game Day today was abysmal. And I get it. It's Jimmy Sexton. I get it. It's a PR. Oh, he spoke great. To get up in front of God and everybody and not mention the Northwestern loss, not mention the UCLA loss. You'd be like, oh my God, well, I had us in the running every single year. And again, I appreciate that Jimmy Sexton is just orchestrating a big dick suck fest. But it was pathetic. It was why is he up there? That's a whole thing. I know Liam mentioned it. And that was going to be my original shit list because I think that it was just pathetic. It was just he said something along the lines of I have no hobbies. I don't fish. I don't golf. What am I supposed to do? I don't know. Beat a fucking top 10 team, you fucking loser. I don't know what to tell you. You have $50 million. Go off into the sunset. Don't go on fucking College Game Day and just cry about it. Crazy. And then we had a hailstorm in Fayetteville, okay? We had a hailstorm. It was wind, it was rain, it was hail. And A&M was on ESPN. They make the decision, for whatever reason, not that I give a fuck, but they make the reason to take A&M from ESPN and move them to ESPN News to keep the block of primetime games the way that they should be. Now, for all the fucking idiots out there that don't understand how this works, when you have blocks of television that are supposed to be in certain time slots, you try to keep those. I am sweating out A&M versus Arkansas. Arkansas is not very good. Taylon Green is gashing my defense. I pull up my phone and I look at Twitter. The amount of morons from the Texas Longhorn fan base that were celebrating the fact that A&M was getting kicked off, and I put this in air quotes, kicked off of ESPN to ESPN News. They're like, yeah, Big Brother's going to go on here. They don't care to watch A&M. You fucking morons. That is not how national television works. They were trying to keep the same time slots for advertising, and it was a 2-hour hailstorm delay. How the mighty have fallen. You were the number one team going into the preseason, and all you could fucking talk about was the fact that A&M was getting moved to a different network so you could sweat out a Kentucky game. Get the fuck out of here. It is amazing. And by the way, the tweet that I had ready if they were to lose that game was unbelievable. You are the number one preseason team going into the season. It's October 18th, 19th, 20th, whatever day it is. You have 2 losses, and all you want to dunk on is no one wants to watch A&M. They're going to be the number 3 team in the country. Whether granted, had they lost Arkansas, it would have been tough. I have never seen a loser mentality from a blue blood program like Texas celebrating a TV network change. That's what you want to hang your hat on? Oh, they got to move it. Get the fuck out of here. Shut the fuck up. We're 7-0, and you're concerned about ESPN versus ESPN News, and you don't understand what TV networks are. Thank you very much. Gig 'em and good night.
Oh, dude.
Good night indeed.
I love college football. This is so crazy.
Now, I'd like to point out.
I've ever seen. It was crazy.
I'd like to point out 2 of the last 3 weeks. Bear with me here, Kayce. I don't want you to overreact to what I say at the beginning. 2 of the last 3 weeks, we've had some impassioned debates about whether A&M was real or not. I say that to set this up. Next week, A&M plays LSU, and it's going to be a fucking shit show on the show. And I don't know. It's going to be a fucking shit show.
It's going to be
Why?
the worst. And by the way, and I've already cleared it with Dan, we are allowed in the gambling cave for it. So all I'm saying is that we are going to be at Indiana.
Yeah, we're streaming it.
UCLA, Indiana for Big Noon kickoff. We will be there for the college football show. We will also be streaming the LSU A&M game in the gambling cave. So it's hate week, I guess.
Yeah, no, and I just like to point out, you guys will be streaming it. I don't drink, so I won't be there with you.
Well, I'm not going to.
We're not going to be drinking either. We're not allowed to drink in the cave.
I'm going to be closing down every bar in Bloomington just so they can't go after UCLA beats them.
Ev, you'll come back with us,
I would
right?
never
You'll come
drink
back
during
from
roughness,
Bloomington?
dude. That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Sorry,
you guys know what the spread is?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Can you
Is
guess
LSU
what it is? I have it up right now.
What is it?
LSU fucking favored?
No.
Okay, all right.
No,
I
she's
guess
not
4.5.
favored. No, A&M's a 5.5 to
4.5.
7 point favorite.
What?
2.5.
10.5.
2.5.
A&M is a 2.5 point favorite in Death Valley.
That thing's gonna be a pick 'em by the time it goes on.
Yeah, probably. Close to it.
This is the worst thing ever.
2.5 fucking points. That's what I'm fucking talking about.
That's
dude.
LSU.
That's
line
called
if I
the
can
Death
see one.
Valley effect, bitch. Good fucking luck next Saturday night, dude.
All right, that's for next Saturday. We'll deal with that when we deal with it. Otherwise,
Good traps.
that's it. Lukey, shut it down. I don't even have. I'm not even saying
Hold
that.
on, wait,
Shut it the fuck
wait.
down.
Everybody, put your cutest face up. Okay.
All right, end it. Thanks, chat. Thanks.